Duwa, Duwawu, Nazareth, Ramech, Hotep. Greetings and divine greatness, divine excellence to the first families, and to all of you listening today and or viewing the Precious Treasure Immortality series. To my Nagas, my Shimsaharus, my Nesubitis, my Muknatarts, my Hamets, my Sebas, the immortal ones of Maat, cherished, for the phenomenon of precession, new age order, great golden age of Maat Asar, and to all citizens, descendants of the Nile Valley Cultural Cosmic Collective Consciousness Spirituality. O Oscar Mutpat Netrul Panebu, mother of the Quat Netrul, mistress of pets, maker of mankind, she who was mighty and Usu Medunet fair, Hekau, divine words of power, mother of all initiations. We ask that you bless us humble servants for Ankh life, being now present, for we seek the counsel of the ancient ones, and practice daily the ancient Ma'atian ways and ancient Ma'atian truths. We strive evermore to become one with thee in this world and in the existence to come. We ask that you bless us on this, the 48th Peru after the Helical rising, 312 Peru remaining until even Soptic, Topis, Cyrus rising, Upuat Smai, Tawi, Wetrin, Pet, Digiteb, 12th Peru, 2nd Abet, Arimnet, 2nd Peru of Seb, 18th Peru, 2nd Abet, 1st season of Shamu, Rinpet number 10, AFNK/ST, after founding of New Kemet, Naga Kemet, Smai, Tawi, Wetrin, Pet, Digiteb, excuse me. We ask that you bless our families and friends and all those of us who gather together in your most holy, sacred, and glorious ancient Sumerian name of Oscar Mutpat Netrul Panebu. You can't hear me. Okay. Yeah.
Nope. Oh, okay.
Okay, where we leave off at?
How are we doing, Queen Mother? Panatapu Pamaro. Yes, they're open up here, Panaguru, my DT, my great Queen Mother goddess. AstMaatTfNut. Dua. Are we live?
Yes, we are live.
Oh, we're live. Well,
Yep, looks like
Dua.
we might need to start over because people could hear me. Somebody
No,
couldn't hear me.
no, I could not hear you. I was out. I was out. I thought. I'm glad that you. We're back on point, though. That's good. The frequency is
All
coming in
right,
now. That's great.
very good. Okay, so we will start over. How about that?
That would be nice.
All right. So, we are live. This is what happens on a live. Peace to everyone who is here. I'm going to begin the show with my Hesi. My Ptah Seeker Asar will follow up with his Hesi. And then we will continue into the show. Hetepu, Duwawu, Nazareth Ramech, Hotep. Greetings and divine greatness, divine excellence to the first families, and to all of you tuning in, listening, and or viewing the Precious Treasure Immortality series, this segment. To my Nagas, my Shemsaharus, my Nesubitis, my Muknatarts, my Hamets, my Sebas, the immortal ones of Maat, cherished, of the phenomenon of precession, new age order, great golden age of Maat Asar, and to all citizens, descendants of the Nile Valley Cultural Cosmic Collective Consciousness Spirituality. O Asar Mutpat Netrul Panebu, mother of the Puat Netruls, mistress of pets, maker of mankind. She who is mighty in Usu Medu Nefer, Hekau, divine words of power,
mother of all initiations. We ask that you bless us humble servants for Ankh, life, being, now present. For we seek the counsel of the ancient ones and practice daily the ancient Maatian ways and ancient Maatian truths. We strive evermore to become one with thee in this world and in the existence to come. We ask that you bless us on this, the 48th Haru after the Helical rising, 312 Haru remaining until Ubin Soptit, Soptit Cyrus rising, Upuat Smai Tau We, Weprin Pet Digit Heb, 12th Haru, second month Abet of Renunet, second Haru of Seb, 18th Haru, second Abet, first season of Shamu, Renpet number 10, AFNK/ST, after founding of New Kemet, Naga Kemet, Smai Tau we ask that you bless our families and friends and all those of us who gather together in your most holy, sacred, and glorious ancient Tamarian name of AstMaatTfNut. For in the art of seeking you, there is much comfort. So as it is spoken, so let it be written. As it is done, so let it be, for now and forever forward. Ra neber teshara, panatar, apu pamaat, puat necharu, ankwaz dejed, ank uja seneb, uben nefer iker panebu, haru ma'at, rising always in divine excellence with ma'at, every day, all day, dua, dua'u.
Duau, Panatapu Pamat. Your words are Macharu, they are true of voice. You are victorious, your majesty is great. You have given us permission to speak before the ancient ones, the ancestors, and to the partner throughs. And we say to you, O great Queen Mother God, who commanded the cosmic forces that allow us love, guidance, protection through the daily experiences of punishable matter. We say, Dua to you, Queen
Dua,
Mother God.
dua'u, say the topic, sir.
Yes, so welcome everyone again. This is another episode of The Precious Treasure. Immortality, a continuous series. We will be here to demonstrate and to acclimate you and gravitate you to how to follow and navigate yourself upon the path to your divine birthright. Divine birthright is immortality. You rose up today for immortality. You went to sleep for immortality. Our story is first frequency, specifically Ra Nebateshira, the path to immortality. But in order to make it to immortality, you need your divine birthright. In order to receive your divine birthright, this is the precious treasure. This is your divine birthright. In order to reach immortality, you must comprehend cosmic time. They stole our cosmic time. They stole our culture. They stole our spirituality. They stole everything. They denied you your yesterdays. They stolen your tomorrows. All we have is right now. This present moment is ours. You must grasp this moment. This is the frequency. So let me begin. Let me humbly begin. I am honored to be back on your platform again, Great Queen Mother Goddess, our most revered, divine Reverend Mother Goddess, AstMaatTfNut. I am honored and humbled to be here again. So let me perform my history, my saku, my affirmations, so I may command the cosmic forces that allow us love, guidance, protection through the daily experiences of wonderful matter. May I have permission to speak before the ancient ones, the ancestors, and the partner throughs. So I shall begin. Etepu, dua, dua, Anazarak Ramet, E.M. Hotep. Greetings, divine greatness, divine excellence to the first families, my Nagas, my Shemsarus, my Nasubitis, my Hemets, my Sba-t, Mutlatats, the immortal ones of Maat, cherished, phenomenon of precession, New Age order, great golden age, Amana Asar, and to all citizens, descendants of the Nile Valley cultural cosmic collective consciousness spirituality. Oh, Ast, Ermut, Patnataru, Panebu, the mother of the Netarus, the mistress of Pet, the maker of mankind, she who is mighty, and Usa Medunefer Hekau, divine words of power, mother of all initiations, bless us humble servants for Ankh, life, being, now present. For we seek the counsel of the ancient ones and practice daily the ancient Mathian ways and ancient Mathian truths. We strive evermore to become one with thee in this world and in the existence to come. We ask that you bless us on this, the 48th day of the year after the Helical rising. 312 days remaining until Uben Suptit, Suptit Cyrus rising, Ukuat, Samatawi, Wet Red Pet Digit, Heb, New Year's celebration, the 12th day of the second month of Renunet. It is the second day of Seb, the 18th day of the second month of the first season of Shemu, year number 10, AFNK/ST, after the founding of New Kemet, Naga Kemet, Samatawi, phenomenon of precession, New Age order, the great golden age, monarchy Asar. We ask that you bless our families and friends and all those of us who gather together to worship in your most holy, sacred, and glorious ancient Tamarian name of AstMaatTfNut. For in the act of seeking you, there is much comfort. So as it is spoken, so let it be written, so let it be done, so shall it be, for now and forever forward. Ra Nebateshara, Pa Nata Apupa Maat, Onkwas Dejet, Onku Ja Seneb, Ube Neprike Panabu Aru Maati, rising always in divine excellence with Maat, every day, all day. Dua, dua, dua.
Dua, dua, woo, single Ptah, seeker Asar. Your words are macharu, true of voice. You are victorious and righteously great. You have commanded the forces that allows you love, guidance, and protection through the daily experiences of ponderable matter. Your words, your Hesi is splendor to the ears of the ancient ones and the Quatnacharu and the ancestors. Dua, dua, woo.
Dua, dua. So this is how we, first of all, acquire this ability to enter into our cultural spirituality. We must first grasp the frequency. In order to grasp the frequency through the mathematics, through the sacred science, through our cultural cosmic conscious spirituality, we must identify where the star is, Suptit, Cyrus at all time. And in doing this, we triangulate ourselves to the cosmic environment. And we applicate it through our cultural cosmic conscious spirituality and the sacred science, the divine mathematics. Here's the metaphysical triangulation, and we have astrology and astronomy to have absolute accountability and star validation. And this way, there is no violation. No one can violate us. No one can bring no religion before us. No religion that our ancestors were not. We had no religion. We are a cultural, cosmic, collective conscious spirituality. We have a cultural spirituality. And this cultural spirituality is first frequency specifically, and it is our story. It has nothing to do with history or his story. It has nothing to do with academia. It has nothing to do with scholarship. It has nothing to do with anything that has the European mentality. Okay? So this would be a continuation of a series in which we gave you introductories. You can go through the previous episodes. And last episode, we took you cosmic. We took you into the oblivion. We brought you on, showed you how to come in from the first door, or we bring you into the other door. We could bring you from the terrestrial plane or the atomic domain, through atomic energy, through the ponderal matter, through the cosmic forces, which are the netarus, and time, understanding what time is. And then we move you through the expanding universe to the inner, the outer verse, to the inner verse, to oblivion. We brought you through that way. We can bring you through the origins of existence, the creation, development of the universe, which is the Zep-Tepi. We went through the Mastaba text and the pyramid text, the coffin text, the Kemenu. We went through the text of Heliopolis and the text of Anu, the Theban text, the book of knowing the overthrowing of the evolutions of Ra, the book of knowing the evolutions of Ra and the overthrowing of Pepi. We went through most of the papyrus texts of the cosmology and cosmography, culture, cosmic, conscious spirituality, which breaks down the origins of existence and the creation, development of the universe. And also we was excerpting things from out of my book, The Cosmic Egg, aka The Primeval Germ, The Journey of 59 plus 21 Zero. So for those that don't know who I am, my name, I'm Ptah Sikasa. I am the Royal Scribe, Master Craftsman, and Keeper of Tep Time of Tesha Farah, and I am also the Chief Executive Officer of the Nagathian Institute of Cosmic Awareness, Spiritual Consciousness, and Universal Enlightenment, and the Nagaship Association, which you'll be hearing very much about coming up very soon. We have our new website from our great divine young master Seba Duncan G, who is bringing things together. We have our chief astrological and astronomical engineer, who is Ramutef Queb, and he is going to show everybody how to align yourself and to tether yourself back to the star of your birth and the star of your transition, so that you can become in tune with the cosmic environment, because of course they stole time from us. That's what we're here today, to break this down. But let me bring it back to the Queen Mother Goddess, and let me follow her narrative and her vibrations, because I know she has things segmented for us today. So dua my great Queen Mother Goddess AstMaatTfNut.
Dua, Siva, Ptah, Secret Star. And again, Dua, for being here on the platform and sharing all of this with everyone. We all need to have this information. Also, I want to acknowledge those that are here with us that have commented, and their presence is here. Sharon Calvin from Facebook, peace and peace to Sharon. Also, Sharon, I appreciate your feedback on the audio, the sound. So this is
Dua.
an example of where comments and feedback matter. I appreciate her heads up, so I was able to get back where I needed to be, so everyone could receive this message. So I appreciate you for not letting this go on and not speaking up. Dua, woo. Also, my Siba, Ramutef Quev, he speaks peace and love to all from Facebook, and Dua, woo, Siba. Amber Gaucher from Facebook speaks peace family. Dua, woo, Amber from Facebook, peace to you as well. Todd M. Scorich from Facebook says Dua, Hotep, Dua, Hotep to you, Todd, as well. Rizal Will on Facebook, he tuned in to a watch party that I had last evening for Seba Kepra Ptah, and Seba Kepra Ptah did a presentation on sound. So if you are not familiar with that, tune into my page on Facebook, Joy Allen, to view that video, and or go to Kepra Ptah's Facebook page and view it directly there. It's spelled Khepra, Ptah, Ptah. And Elmore, he speaks peace, fam, from Facebook, and peace to my Seba Elmore. Elmore, my brother, Seba Elmore, assists me with my presentations, and we build together. There's a lot of us. I see a lot of people here who we build together and bring you this knowledge of different backgrounds and formats and subjects. Let's see here. More Life, she's always present in class. It don't matter if I'm on Crumb TV, Branch of Knowledge, the Taz Show. More Life is always present. She speaks peace from YouTube, and peace, Hotep, Dua, Woo to More Life. Crumb TV speaks peace and love. That's my humble brother Crumb, Seba, Crumb Snatcher from Facebook, Hotep, Dua, Woo, and Hamet Serket Maat from Facebook speaks peace to family, and to Hamet Serket Maat, I speak Hotep Dua Woo to you. And speaking of streaming live, we are live on my Facebook Joy Allen page, my Facebook AstMaatTfNut page, which that page on Facebook and YouTube is only about this calendar, the Ancient Khemetic Rasaurian Calendar only. So if you want information, content about this, how to use the calendar, the legend that's in here, the features, how where, when to purchase your calendar. If you want more information about the Cosmic Egg free PDF that comes with your calendar, if you want information about the free audio CD that comes with your calendar, all that information is on my page. It's also on Ptah Seeker Asar's Facebook page, except on Facebook, it's Ptah Asar. So go to his page for more information as well. We're also streaming live on the Taz Show, Facebook and YouTube, and on YouTube on my platform and my Instagram account, my Twitter account, The Memoirs of a Karmic Dynasty. All right, so now all that's been done and said, I appreciate being able to say all of that, because that means you all are here, you're learning, you're listening, and you're remembering and getting this back, getting this to yourself again. All right, so Seba, Ptah Seeker Star, muted your mic. So what I'm going to do is load this PowerPoint slide, because somewhere I lost it. And here we go. And we're going to speak about the color codes of the calendar. Is there something you wanted to talk about? A brief introduction, maybe, before we go into the calendar. For everyone who has a calendar and for those who will get their calendar, we're going to be showing you how to use this calendar, like what these colors up here mean, what these symbols mean, and all of this. Why there's 36 boxes here and not 30 or 31? We're going to discuss all of that. Seba, do you have something you want to share with everyone before we begin?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Whoa, Ramet. Ramet in Meduneta means the family. Ramet means the first family. And when we say first family, we mean that we have dawned upon a new age order, the great golden age of Maat. We have lived through two great ages. The great golden age of Pisces just passed in the year 2012, when they said that the world was going to end. The Mayan long count said it was the end of one cycle and the beginning of another, and the Dogon cycle said it was the end of one cycle and the beginning of another. So we know, and we also know because of the spring equinox. So we have been transitioning through one great age, and we are now fully in the great golden age of Maat, also known as Aquarius. Now, some people say, yeah, well, we have the new age. The new age is coming in. The new age is now. Okay, it's called the golden lotus. So when the golden lotus opens, make sure that you see it. Now, it only happens every 26,000 years. And you are here right now to experience this divine revelation of transcending energies and frequencies that's perturbating and emanating all around us in the cosmos, in the universe right now. Everything is in alignment. This is our story. This is our time. That's why they stole your time. So this is what we're here to do. We're here to bring you back into a realization and a connection with your cultural, cosmic, collective conscious spirituality. And we're going to do this through the divine math, the sacred science, your cultural spirituality, which we will triangulate, and with the astrology and astronomy to give you absolute accountability and style validation. First of all, I'd like to tell everybody that today is the 48th day of the year. We just performed our Hesi, and mathematically we attuned ourselves to the mathematical frequency, because everything has a frequency, everything has a vibration, and this is what you must attune yourself to. And it has nothing to do with history, it has nothing to do with religion, it has nothing to do with Jesus, it has nothing to do with none of that foolishness. This is our story specifically. Okay, we are not here to entertain you. I'm not here to babysit you, and I'm not here to take your temperature. I'm here to give you back your divine birthright. So all you need is an eye to see, an ear to hear, and an understanding heart. You have to have Maat in your heart. We see, but we don't see with our inner eye, so we're blind. We hear, but we don't hear with our inner ear, so we're deaf. And our heart, and we speak, but if we don't speak upon the cosmic breath and the divine revelation, then we're mute. So you must have your heart in tune to my heart. And in this way, you will no longer be captured by the paralysis of the analysis, or no longer be subjected to the Hellenistic paradigm doctrines of injured humanity. In other words, you will not be Hellenized and lobotomized. So we want to begin today's series by saying, before the Romans and the Greeks, there were 9 days. That's right, 9 days in every week. And time was kept by charting stars that were visible on our calendar. Aware of the movement of the earth, stars, and moon, these ancient African indigenous primordial ancestral peoples were cosmically attuned. So this is the mathematical equation we have to comprehend. Of course, everybody says that Ptah is saying something Suto. I've been exiled from the Khemetic community because I tell them there's 9 days a week. But everybody knows on this planet, every theologian, every ecclesiastic, every culture on this planet knows that originally there was 9 days in a week. And the reason why there's 7 days a week is because now they can control your mind under the lunar cycle calendar, and you could be trapped within the paralysis of the analysis. So we're going to unveil these truths to you today, and we're going to break down. So we've already went through everything I could go through right now to tell you on that, but we've already talked about it in our previous episode, and we never had a chance to break down the color code for the months of the year and the days of the week, the names, the days, how we break them down in MedUNet, and how it applicates to your being and to your connection to the cosmic environment. Because remember, everything must fluctuate within the precession of the equinox, or the phenomenon of precession. So for those of you that didn't catch last show, well, let me just brief you up here with how to follow the navigational path. This is primordial, temple, discipline, methodology. And so first we have to understand that we are beings of the light. And in order to understand the light, scientifically, mathematically, with our cultural, cosmic, cultural spirituality, we know that the light is an atom. An atom has a proton, neutron, surrounded by a nucleus, has an electron. It's a helium atom, so it becomes atomic energy. And so understanding atomic energy, and to be able to measure atomic energy, you have to have time. So time is the movement or measurement of the light through the void of deep dark cold space from one point or distance to another. Its speed is 198,000 miles per second. Light is the absence of darkness, and darkness is the absence of light. Light is the giver of Ankh, life, being, to all things upon the terrestrial plane within the atomic domain. Ankh, life, is the consciousness and awareness of being. Ankh, life, is the generic expression of the light, and it's only found in three forms: solids, liquids, and gases, matter, the elements, the netarus, nature, the gods and goddesses. However, the light, Kepra, atomic energy, the hydrogen atom, the expanding universe, is not the origins of existence and the creation development of the universe. It is not the Zep-Tepi, the origins of it is not the first time. Light has a mirrored reflection, which is radiation. Radiation is the cosmic egg. Radiation is Radha. Radiation encompasses the laws of universal dualism. So once you're able to expand your mind, we're going to go through this through not simple, but methodology, using method layman terms so everybody can understand this. We're not going to use no type of words that you don't understand and that don't really mean anything to us. We're going to keep everything. Those comes the mud, it creates the most beautiful. Exactly, yeah, beautiful. Dua, Joe Bethel. Dua. This is the golden lotus. This is the phenomenon of precession. This is the lion's gate. The lion's gate. Everybody wants to know what's the lion's gate. I'm gonna break up. I'll make sure I have that picture for them for the lion's gate that's depicted in the mezuneta of the two lions, Haka, yesterday, today, and tomorrow. This is the Tal Sarah. This is where we're at right now. So right here, this is it. The days of the week. The first day of the week is Ra, because look on top of the head. Ra has personified the human body. with the head of a hawk, and on top is a disc with a dot. It's called the circle and the dot. That's the oldest written and spoken word, and even today, it is used in science as a hydrogen atom. And so, right, these are the 9 days in a week. So now the second day is Jehuti. Jehuti is personified in the human body with the head of an ibis bird, with the crescent moon and the sun. So these 2 days have lingered on from antiquity or primordial times because you have Sunday and Monday. And Monday is governed of the moon, and the moon is governed in our cultural, cosmic, collective conscious spirituality by Jehuti. So these two parts of the years remain the same. Okay. Now we move on to number three. Number three is Seb. He's personified as a human being with a human head, but has a goose on top of him as his Medunetta symbol. The goose represents Seb as the great crackler. He who brought things into existence on this planet. It's a metaphor, it's a cosmic metaphor from the Zep-Tepi to atomic energy to the terrestrial plane. So this has to be interpreted on three levels. But the symbol for Seb is the goose. And his name is not Geb with a G, G-E-B. His name is not Keb with a K-E-B. This is the corruption. This is the plagiarism. This is the fragmentation that through history, through Champollion and Gardner Signless and Budge and Repetti and Gardner Reisner and all the other ones who corrupted our sacred Medunetta interpretations. So you want to make sure that you pronounce the third day as Seb with an S, S-B. S-B means, Seb means solid, as in matter, solids, liquids, and gases, because this is what we're doing. We're breaking this down scientifically, mathematically, with our cultural, cosmic, collective, conscious spirituality. Always triangulate. This conversation will always be triangulating, because if I do not, then I'm violating you. I have to bring this to you as a frequency, as a vibration. It's a first frequency specifically. So many of you heard Hesse already. If you start feeling a little tingle behind your ears there, that's your pineal gland. It's starting to excrete fluids. Okay, and then if you feel tingles down your back, ooh, a little chills and everything, that's not no goosebumps. Them are your chakras. They're starting to ignite. The nuclear fusion is going into effect. So here we go. The first day is Ra. The second day is Seb. The second day is Jehuti, the Ibis, and the third day is Seb. And the next day would be us. It's personified as a human being, a female, and she has on her head the throne. The throne means us. That is her name in Medunetta. And the fifth day is under the four children. The fifth, sixth, seventh, and the eighth day represent the four cardinal points, the four pillars of Pet, the four elements, the four directions, and they fall under the Shemsu Herus, the children of Heru, the followers of Heru, the descendants of Heru, which is what Shemsu means. And the first one's name is Mesta. If you're reading the Medunetta, can you enlarge that a little bit, Queen Mother Goddess? Can you enlarge anything there so I can break that down? If not, we'll just continue.
I'll work on
okay. The next day is day number 6. That belongs to Hapi, the second born of Heru, begotten of Heru, from the womb of from the womb of Heru. These children come from Heru and Heru. And the next day would be the third son and of the Shemsurus, and his name is Twamutef. He is personified as a human being with the head of a jackal. And the Medunetta is a star, is a vulture, is the T, which God in the sign list they say is a raised loaf, but we know that to be the primeval mound. And we have the F, the horned viper, which is personification or determinative for masculinity. So his name is Twamutef, and Twa means star, and Mut means mother. And Tef, Mut means mother, and the F means masculine. So he was the star of his mother. That's what it means in Mandunetta. And Mesta, the firstborn. Mes means to be born of, Ta means the earth. So Mesta means born of the earth. So the firstborn's name is Mesta. Hapi represents the life-giving force of the Nile River, the waters of the Nile. And so Hapi is personified most of the time with the head of a baboon, as you see there. And the last, and then after Twamutev is the fourth born son. His name is, he's personified as a human being with the head of a hawk. And the first part of his name is Queb. And Queb means purification or libations. And Queb, and then there's three bases, which means Sen. So, and Sen in Medunetta means brother. So three of them means brothers, plural. And there's the F again at the end of his name, the horned viper, representing masculine. So his name would mean he's purification and brothers. And so his name would mean he is the purification of his brothers. So the Medunetta speaks for itself. It's nature. It'll never change. The way it was then is the way it is now. But you have to be able to balance it and be able to interpret it and to infuse it within our cultural, cosmic, collective conscious spirituality so that it makes sense. Because if it doesn't make sense to you as you're expressing this and interpreting this, then this means you're just another Greek and a Roman, another well-dressed thug, another hotep pimp just trying to sell information to confuse our people. We are here so that you can your eyes will be able to see and be able to interpret yourself. They're charging you all this money to learn, read, write, and speak Medunetta. How can they charge you to learn your own language? This doesn't make sense. We are giving this information to you here for free. We're here to help you, assist you, because we are living in the best of times and the worst of times. And within the Golden Lotus, opening of the Golden Lotus of the 2020, the 26-year cycle, the phenomenal recession, there's so much getting ready to happen now. And to ensure the continuity and existence of our family, our Shemsurus, to survive this assault, this next extinction, this extinction protocol that they have lined up for you called the New World Order, or they want you to go back to the regular normal. That normal, they got a new normal for you. Or they're gonna put you back in chains and shackles, put that knee on your neck. Or they got some tricks for y'all. Okay? Well, you gotta understand you have the cosmic forces. You have a great new age order. We're talking cosmic. If we just stay cosmic and understand the cosmic principles, understand the cosmic entombment, and to attune ourselves to these forces, then their whole plan will not even develop. It will never gas. It never become to gas, to liquid, to solids, or to crystallize. We will put a stop to it if one would only. First of all, you have to learn how to tell cosmic time. Second of all, you got to learn how to eat. You got to stop eating that man's food. You have to learn to eat of the seed. That's why, we are suffering from self-inflicted wounds. It's called UNP, unnecessary pain and punishment, manufactured pain, fabricated pain. We're giving pain and punishment to ourselves. Okay, so Ast is our set. Yes, Ast is the primordial way of writing and Medunetta of pronouncing the great queen mother goddess Ast's name. Yes, Ast
And we
means
don't
the
use the
throne.
E's as
No,
well.
there is no E. The E is silent, but some people use AUEASUET. And then the more values you put into it, then it becomes Hellenized and then it goes into the Coptic and the demonic. But you want to try to use it the way it is. AST is the most primordial form that you can pronounce the word of the great queen mother goddess As, Del, D, Cal, D, Calico. Okay, so now the last name of the day of the week is Heru. So now, before the Romans and the Greeks, there's 9 days a week. Everybody knows there's 9 days a week. How do we know there's 9 days a week? We already went through this in the past shows. We're going to go right through it. You have to understand calendar reform. First, calendar reform. So if you're a scholar, you're to do your due diligence, please Google AUC. That's an acronym saying Ab Urbe Cordita, which means in Latin, upon the founding of the city of Rome. So 754 AUC is first calendar reform. Dua, checking in. And that means that first calendar reform is 754 BCE. You'll see Eratosthenes and Aristarchus. Now, the second calendar reform is 301, and which is Decree of Canopus 1, 2, and 3. So we going down. These are Ptolemies, when the Ptolemies took over Kemet. And in between the 754 BCE, I mean AUC, and the first decree of Canopus, you have Nebuchadnezzar, the Babylonian king 666, his son Nebuchadnezzar. You got Darius, you got the Persians, you got the whole mix of everyone now coming in because as above, so below, the great golden age of Taurus turned into the great golden age of Taurus, which is Ptah, turned into the great golden age of Aries, which is Amen Ra. And as this was transpiring, the portals of opening in which Uncle Set took advantage of, and so which was his birthright. But even he has to follow the rules. But the powers of the army whose time is over. AUC Anu Orbis Godito. No, Ab Urbe. Ab is AB is AB is Ab. Ab Urbe Godita is AB dash Urbe is URBE and Gotita. AB URBE Gotita. Ab Urbe Gotita means upon the founding of the city of Rome. Just want to make sure you're doing your due diligence and your words that you're looking for. I make sure I say it right so you can find what you're looking for. So these are calendar reforms. And the reason why they have a calendar reform is because they gave you a lunar cycle calendar. They gave you a calendar that was specifically designed for growing crops just to feed you. It's only good for feeding you. It can regulate the inundation of the Nile and the receding of the Nile, the woman's menstrual cycle, the birth and gestation, and the high tides and low tides. That's all it can do. It can do nothing more for you. That lunar cycle calendar is a calendar for imprisoning the mind. That's why they gave you it. The Gregorian calendar is a 30-day calendar. The Ethiopian calendar, the Muslim calendar, the Jewish calendar. All calendars on this planet has 30 days. Why? So that you can never wake up. Our original calendar is solar, sidereal, and lunar. It's three principles in one. So you have to understand. So what they did, they gave you a lunar cycle calendar, and it's only good for growing crops. And the most fraudulent thing about the lunar cycle calendar, which was most beneficial to us, was that every 130 years, one unearned day is added to the calendar. Every 100, let me reiterate, every 130 years, one unearned day is added to the calendar. So you're not going to see it in your lifetime, and your child is not going to see it, and your next descendant and third descendant is not going to see it. But 500 years down the line, the sun doesn't line up with the spring equinox. And if you keep letting it drift, then when you plant the seed into spring to grow the crops, and you planted it at the wrong time, then the crops don't grow to the fill. Hence starvation. Hence the bumper crop if you don't have the granaries filled up, and so on and so forth. So they're so busy gorging themselves on Ta Mary. Ta means earth. Mary means beloved earth, or Ta Netaru. Ta Netaru. Ta Netaru means Ta means earth. Netaru means nature, or the gods and goddesses, the Netarus, the part Netarus, and Tanisha. I'm not going to call it Africa. I'm not going to call it Akalimba. I just wanted to call it Ta Mary, Tanisha, Ta Neferu, Ta Netaru, to try to keep the frequency pure. But we all know what we're talking about here. And they're so busy gorging themselves upon us because at this particular time, as above, so below, within the great golden age of Taurus, which is Ptah, and Aries, which is Amen Ra, during this transition was a feasting time. And so they found out what made us tick, so they stole our time. They knew how to separate the solar and sidereal aspect to the lunar cycle aspect. And in this way, they place you under a cloud of doubt and confusion. And in the midst of killing you and castrating you and burning you and hanging you and putting the knee on your neck every day and just killing your children, all you want to do is just have a little peace. And they keep bringing that calendar in. And this is how we ended up where we're at now. Okay, lost, stolen, and denied. So as we get to understand, you understand that, boom, the calendar reform. So now, why did we have to count? Why did we have to have another calendar reform from 754 BCE or AUC to the Ptolemy the first, Soter, Serapi, September, Mary, Amen, is the decree of Canopus number 1. Bam, because they couldn't grow no crops. So they had to adjust the calendar without, and at the same time they're adjusting the calendar. There's a decree to kill these people, to make sure you cut off their tongues and castrate them. So you don't have time to think about this calendar. You're just trying to survive. You're in survival mode. Okay, we've been in war for the last 4,000 years, 4,000, almost 500 years. This isn't a 400-year-old story. We haven't been in this position for 400 years. According to the phenomenal recession and the New Age Order, the Great Golden Age of Maat, Asar, we count back 2,161 years and do that 12 times, we come up with 26,000 years. So we're talking 2,160 plus 2,000 for Pisces or Uncle Set, and 2,161 years for Aries, which is Amen Ra, and that's 4,000, that's 5,000 years right there. So they've been working on us for 5,000 years. So to think that you could just read a book in scholarship and you could figure this out, you're just fooling yourself. When you read these books from Plato and this Aristotle and this European mentality, you're like a mad dog chasing his tail. You just keep chasing your tail until you just get tired and go to sleep. Then you wake up chasing your tail again. So you're never gonna get progress. Look at us today. We're gonna move right into that, Queen Mother. Are we okay on the time? Look at us today. Since all the great teachers, all the great spiritual leaders, we ain't made one inch of progress. We still out here marching. We still out here wondering why don't they love me? Why did he kill me? Why did he shoot her? Well, you know why. It's the law. It is a law. It's called Injured Humanity. Google it, please. They have an unbridled license. Google it, please. Unbridled. They have an unbridled license to condition, to subjugate, to place you under their knee, to put shackle and chain to you, and it is legal. They cannot be prosecuted. It's the law. It's called the Hellenistic Paradigm Doctrines of Injured Humanity. And it's still the law today under the Casual Killing Act, 1669, Virginia. Please Google it. Just Google it. All Leslie Dua, all ecclesiastic people know this law. Casual Killing Act, 1669, Virginia, and 1619, New York City. Casual Killing Act. They even got the Georgia Guidestones in Georgia. Google the Georgia Guidestone. They have a mathematical equation where they must depopularize this planet. That's why they got the pathogen out here now. And so we have to begin to understand how to to put things in the proper perspective so that we can teach our children how to tell true time, to show the children how to show the frequency, how to show them how to eat properly. So at the Naga Ship Association and the Nagati Institute of Universal Cosmic Awareness, Universal Enlightenment, and Spiritual Consciousness and Universal Enlightenment, we will have websites we're developing to have online teachings and instructions for everyone, because the kids are not going back to school, everybody. But anyways, let us get back down to the color code as we move into the rest of the year. Use this as our reference right now. This is a bit. We're moving this forward because we've done the show last week and the week before and the week before. We never got to this part. But I like to make sure that those who are coming and tuning in new, that they understand why we're here, how they stole our time. And the Gregorian calendar and its effect, because it has no purpose. The Gregorian calendar has no purpose at all. It's only used as equity, as a commodity to sell, to get you on these holidays that you have to buy these foods and have these cookouts and to eat. Hello, Jasmine Elliott, dua, Queen Mother Goddess, dua to you. Try not to use the word hello, Jasmine, because when you hello, you Hellenize yourself. This is called Where Can I Order the Calendar? I'm in the description below, Queen Mother Goddess, AstMaatTfNut. Right below, she has in the description below, you can get them. There it is, right there. And yes, and so we're gonna move into what we're going to do is we're going to show you the legend on the back. The legend is the spherical diagram, and it's a color code. Our ancestors, they released everything to us as a star code. It's a star code. The great phenomenal possession, or the zodiac as they call it. You gotta stop listening to these astrologers using Western astrology to identify with the cosmic environment, because all you're doing is Hellenizing yourself. You cannot receive the
Yeah.
proper frequency. You know, now the person who's selling you this information, they're gonna make a lot of money, but it's not doing us no purpose. It's called contraband. Contraband means black people conditioning other black people into mental, physical, spiritual, subjugated slavery. They don't even have to put a chain around our neck. We're
See,
already, yes,
the,
Queen Mother.
the astrology that you mentioned, I
Yes.
actually, before I became a student of this calendar, and I did a video on Crumb TV, and
Yes.
it's called some astrology something. What is it called? Either way, I'll think of it as it come up. Either way,
Yes.
because I've studied astrology, and
Yes.
one day while I was in thought, I saw a glyph for Jupiter, and I was like, that looked like a 4. And then I started to wonder if all the other glyphs had numbers in it. So it took
Mm-hmm.
me on this path, and I went on Crumb TV and presented the information there. It was Astrology Decoded, Part 1. And
Mm.
then before I got in Part 1, excuse me, is where I met Sba-t in the comment section. And it went from there. I learned that Taurus, no, Cancer is Kepra and all other types of stuff. So then by the time astrology part 2 came out, because Brother Crumb's schedule was busy, y'all know my humble brother Crumb is very busy. So
Yes. Yes. Yes.
by the time I got the information together and part 2 came up, then that's when Sba-t came in and Ptah Secret Asar. And we've just been rolling out the information together and building since then. So tune into those videos. They are also on my page, The Memoirs of a Karmic Dynasty. They are on Crumb TV and on Branch of Knowledge. Um, so anyway, speaking of astrology, yes, I studied it myself, did a presentation to let you all know those glyphs. Excuse me, the glyphs, they have ancient glyphs, they have modern day glyphs, and the glyphs they are changing whenever they feel like changing them. So for example, you have a tattoo, that tattoo will be outdated real soon and it's not even real. And then I put the stories of each Hellenized astrology character in part 1, in the first 6, and the last 6 I put in part 2. So you all can tune into that, but definitely that stuff is not real. It's
Exactly.
it's Hellenized. The
Right. So what they
bottom
have.
how
So
you all
so
mess.
yes, Queen Mother. So what they have to understand, so they can understand with their own eye. You have to be able to identify this with your own eye. We have a global Naga presence, and our presence has been here for tens of millions of years. They got you thinking that our story is only 5,000, this history is 5,000 years. I just told you, you've been in slavery. You've been in mental slavery for 5,000 years. So who laid the plans on this planet? And if it was us, how could it be better us when we was in mental incarceration for 5,000 years? So enter the phenomenon of precession. Your conversation must revolve around the phenomenon of precession. The Earth has 3 motions, the 3 motions of the Earth. It rotates on its axis, 24 hours and 35 minutes in its original time. There it is there. Or 24 hours as it is today. The Earth is 24 hours is one day today. But the original time it took the Earth to spin was an extra 35 minutes. And this 35 minutes was split between the duat and the twat. So if it takes the Earth 24 hours and 35 minutes to rotate on its axis, which is the first motion of the Earth, that means the second motion of the Earth, it revolves around the sun, which is 360 days on the 24 hours and 35 minutes, or 365 and a quarter days on the 24 hours as it is today. In the third motion of the Earth, it is tilted. There's the vertical line. It's tilted 23 degrees from vertical, which makes the Earth wobble. And one complete wobble is 26,000 years. This is called the phenomenon of precession, how our sun moves through each and every sign of the zodiac. But that's all they tell you right there. They stop the story there. Oh, and the color, and this color is blue. And this, they don't want you to know anything more about the phenomenon of precession, because once you start to have a narrative or dialogue concerning this phenomenon of precession or the precession of equinox, you have to convert to our story because they have no idea what this means. So they have to revert to our story. Now we have a global Naga presence. We know that each and every ancient megalithic architectural monument has polygonal or polymer designs. These designs are blocks that were fused together, which makes them earthquake resistance, tidal wave resistance, and they are over 100 to 200 tons rocks that were that were put into place hundreds of thousands to millions of years ago. The geological evidence shows this. They know this that Herukuti or Hemachis or Sekhmet, as you call the Sphinx, the Sphinx isn't 5,000 years old because they know of the rock sediment around it, the water erosion. They know sand erosion and water erosion and what it looks like. Don't even know. You don't know. They know. They know that. Hey, listen. Wow, that looks like it's 100, 250,000 years. The one and the last time, but that's a dry, arid land. How can there be water there? Because 10,000 years ago was an ice age, 12,000 years ago, and then for 10,000 years is when the ice age was water was melting, and then so the water, the ocean level rose up. So the Sphinx, the Herokuti Hamashis or Sekhmet or the Sphinx as you want to call him, her, was filled up to the neck with water. 12,000 years ago. So it couldn't have been made 12,000 years ago unless they had scuba diving equipment. But it wasn't made 12,000 years ago. So you have to go back around the phenomenon recession another 12,000, 26,000 years, add the 12,000 to get where we got the Herokuti. That's 38,000 years. So when we start using these mathematical equations, we can see that now we're into our story. So our story is right before us. Our ancestors left everything in a color code, in a star code, in a sound code. Everything, they have three colors that make up all the colors that can make every color you need. It can be tied to primordial colors. There's three primordial colors. There's three sounds that make up the whole spectrum of the scale of notes in music. Okay, so these phenomenons of three are always present. They're just in mute testimony. If you don't know how to extract the information, it's extracted through a frequency and through a consciousness of a frequency. And right, and you're triangulating. It's always sacred math. You know how to relate the mathematics to the colors, related to the sound, related to the stars. You have the sacred, you have the divine science. You relate it to the colors, you relate it to the stars, you relate it to the sounds. You have your cultural, cosmic, electrical spirituality. Then you, this is called metaphysics. This is what metaphysics is. Basically, if you could say you're a metaphysicist, but if you can't applicate this or explain this to the people in this manner so that they can understand, so it doesn't become all this spookism. It's not our spirituality is a spookism. It's the most sacred thing on this planet, and it's yours, and it's right before you. So we're talking about the time and how it relates to our cosmic time, our cultural spirituality. And here is the first month of the year. This is the month of Jehuti.
Actually, and before we start,
yes.
So Jasmine Elliott from Facebook asked about ordering the calendar, and the information is in the description. It's been shared on the screen. If you have any questions or you do not see the ordering method that fits you, then contact me and I'll work on getting the calendar to you. I also wanted to share with my Sba that I got the package.
Oh, fantastic.
So I got here today, the package was here.
Okay, good.
I needed
the CDs,
more,
okay.
Audio CDs because the calendars are selling. I needed more CDs. So I have the CDs.
Yes.
I wasn't going to run out, but I have the CDs to go out with the calendars. The orders are coming in, and I am getting those orders out right now, same day.
Jamal Ali.
So they should continue to be going out the same day you order them.
Absolutely. Everybody should have this calendar. Everybody, if you do not get this calendar right now, there's nothing I can do for you. You have been captured by the paralysis of the analysis. You have been Hellenized and lobotomized. Everybody understand what it is to be lobotomized? They disconnected you your electromagnetic energy. They disconnected it from your physical self, and you are a zombie. You're a zombie because scientifically speaking, your physical vibration and frequency is on a body chart lower than 24, which is candy. Just Google Dr. Taino, Taino, body frequency, and you'll see that if you're eating that food and your body frequency is 24 and below, which means that that's candida, you're dead. Scientifically, you're dead, but your
Yes.
eyes are moving, your mouth is talking. So scientifically, you're dead. So you're a zombie.
Mm-hmm.
Now you don't know how to tell time because you're stuck on Gregorian time. You're stuck on that Project Gregorian time, and you have a watch on your arm. And if you have a watch on your arm right now, that means you're connected to 52 parallels north of the equator, which is Stonehenge, England. They call that GMT and UTC, lobotomy brain surgery. There we go. Okay. Stephen said y'all brainless, but
Lobotomy.
exactly. I'm not here to babysit you. I'm not here to detain you. I'm not here to take your temperature. I'm only here for the Shamsurus. I'm only here for my Nagas, my Sibas, my Sibats, my Munakas. They're more the ones that I cherish, because we have climate change, we have global warming, and we have environmental relapse that's in effect right now. Okay, there's so much going on. So even if you recognize it or not, or whether you help yourself to help our people become free or not, it doesn't make a difference. The moves have already been made. The cosmic moves are being made. We got environmental relapse. All right, our sun is encapsulated within this gaseous bubble because we just made a 26,000 year cycle through the phenomenal precession, and we're beginning a new cycle. And as we begin this new cycle, we have to pass through this portion of the Milky Way galaxy called the cosmic rift. And as the sun goes through the rift, it takes 9 planets with it, so it has to encapsulate itself into this gaseous bubble to protect it, to protect us as we go through this part of the first 72 years. So it takes the sun 72 years to precess. Okay, the clock goes forward. The zodiac goes counterclockwise, which is to precess. That's why it's called the precession. It takes 72 years for the sun to move 1 degree into the into the 2,160 years it takes the sun to go through each sign. So we're 10 years into the great golden age of Maat, aka Aquarius. So a lot of things are transpiring that we have to acclimate ourselves to, because as we embrace this new first frequency, specifically Ra Never Teshuvah, so that we're able to encompass all thoughts and things that can happen by just seeing these natural phenomena transpire before us. So now the first month of the year would be Jehuti. And Jehuti appears in the month of the first month. It's the first month because at this time is when the stars Sba-t and Ra rise together in the horizon of the Nilotic meridian of 30 degrees longitude, 30 degrees latitude on the Nilotic meridian, which runs down from the delta, from the Mediterranean to the delta of the Nile, straight up, which it looks like it's going down, but it's going up, straight down to South Africa. That is called the Nilotic meridian. So it goes from Giza or Memphis, where the Merku is, the Great Pyramid. It runs down to the Ethiopian calendar Ptah. Then it goes to the West Sudan to Nabta Playa, and it's running straight down all the way through the Congo into South Africa, where it lands in Adam's calendar. And at this time, the snow caps of the Mount Kilimanjaro begins to melt, and the water runs down the mountain into the white Nile, the blue Nile, which comes into the Nile, in which the Nile begins to inundate. And at this particular time, the star and the sun rises together, and it's the helical rising, because if the star, Sba-t, and Sirius rises together in unison, represents that that our Earth is made by a complete revolution around the sun. So this is scientific information. This is a mathematical equation, and it has to connect to your culture, cosmic culture, conscious spirituality. Remember, we're triangulating at the same time to this whole conversation, and we're adding astrology, our primordial astrology, and the astronomy of antiquity, to have absolute accountability and star validation. So as we get back to this month again, it's Jehuti. We know that because we know that Ra, the sun, and Septet, Cyrus, they are binary stars. They do a dance. And when they're closest together, it's 1,461 years. And when they're furthest apart, is 1,461 years. And this is the dance they make. And when Septet rises above the horizon on that day, it traverses the elliptic plane and returns to its original position in respect to the fixed stars. It's 8,766 hours. So now we got our map, we got our geodate, we got our foundation. We laid a foundation in Maat.
And
Now we
Stephen,
break. Yes, Queen Mother.
that is illustrated here on the month, right?
Yes.
You have the star.
Yes, right. So here it is in the middle there. You'll see the star behind Yehuti's right shoulder. And then above the star is the letter T, which represents the mound. And God assigned this is called the raised loaf. Of course, that makes no sense at all unless you're a European. To our cultural conscious spirituality, that is the primeval mound, and it represents gravity. It's electromagnetism being transpired here. This is all electromagnetic energy. It's a frequency. All Medunetta is a frequency. So if you're not interpreting it as a frequency, then you are violating the mentality of my people. Cyrus A and Cyrus B, Austin Nebtet. Great. You're using Hellenistic term. Nepthys is Hellenistic. You want to use Nebhet. Neb dash T dash HT. There's no E. But yes, you're on the right path though. And so there's the Medunetta there, and that pyramid looked like an obelisk. That's actually a spike. A spike. A spike, or it could be, or you can look at it from the bottom up. It could be it is a spike. And the spike is a frequency. And it's the frequency is these telluric forces that are upon the planet. And they're called conductivity discontinuity or ley lines. And at this particular time, when the star and the sun rises together in unison as the helical rising, it creates this frequency. And this frequency permeates this spike. And the spike spikes up to the star. That star is something. And that's how it's written in Medunetta. Now you can also visualize it in reverse as the star shining like a spotlight, like a flashlight shining down on Earth. So there's a couple of ways that the picture has been moved, Queen Mother Goddess. We're not seeing the whole picture, or I'm not seeing the whole picture.
I thought you was done with that part.
Okay, well I'm moving with you. I'm following. So, no, we didn't. No, we're not done yet because we didn't.
Okay.
We're not done yet. I just want to show them that is the emphasis, because it's that large. There's an emphasis on why, and it is because this is when the star rises in the horizon, and it indicates a mathematical equation and scientific data that has to be applicated to your cultural spirituality. And so I was just bringing that together. And above that, there are 9 suns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 stars. The nine solar discs represents the 9 days in the week. Remember, before the Romans and the Greeks, there were 9 days in every week. And time was kept by charting stars that were visible on our view. The picture is going back up again, Queen Mother. And time.
So what I did was in the presentation.
Yes.
Because we're going to be focusing on, this is the first month, the entire. We're going to be focusing on the register. So I clipped it.
Oh, the registers. Oh, that's the register. I see. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, you're doing right. Oh, that.
Put the register with the legend.
Oh yeah, I'm moving slow. I got to pick up my pace. I'm moving all the way behind you. I got to step up like, Queen Mother. Yeah, that's why Sba and Medunetta means student, and Sba means teacher, because the student becomes the teacher. In our cultural spirituality, always remember that the son must become stronger than the father, and the starter must become stronger than the mother, because Ra never Teshuvah became stronger than Nu. That's why we exist from perpetual continuous to continuous evolution. So there's the register, the top register. You see the 9 solar discs, which represents the 9 days a week. Of course, before the Romans and the Greeks, there were 9 days a week. Remember the poem. And then there's 10 months in a year. There's the 10 stars. 10 times 10 months. Each month has 36 days. 10 times 36 is 360. Okay. And there's 24 hours and 35 minutes in every day. There's 4 weeks in a month, 9 days a week, and 8,766 hours a year. That whole picture has the implications of divine science, divine mathematics, and sacred sciences all right there. Pow! It's a frequency. Now, the color code that is above the top register, there are 3 bars there. And the uppermost register represents the phenomenon of precession, and it represents the zodiac sign. So we have the zodiac sign and the phenomenon of precession infused into one, into this color code. So you see the blue. The blue goes halfway because that is the great golden age of Kepra, or the sign of Kepra, which you know is Cancer. Okay, all the Greeks did, they took the beetle and turned it into a crab. So all I did was take the crab and turn it back to a beetle. I know where they got how they got to a crab. I see where it came from, so I know if I use the most primordial aspects of symbolism in our antiquity, of our cultural, cosmic, spirituality, I'm going to find that Kepra. And Kepra also represents self-creation. So everything starts to pieces start. What we're doing is we're raw collecting, we're raw remembering, we are raw assembling the dismembered body parts of our paternal father, Asar Unefa. This is the Asarianization. You're beginning to remember right now. So now it's all in the color code. Remember, our ancestors left everything is in a color code, a star code, and a sound code, and it's all a frequency. Okay, it has no color, and it has no direct SIBA. Okay, this is for you, so that you can see this with your own eyes through ponderable matter, and you're able to reflect it through the cosmic forces to make the relationship and to receive the vibration. So there it is. There's the top register, and the yellow pot is entering into the age of Kepra. I mean, age of Herukuti, which is Leo. You call him Leo, the lion, but the lion, the Leo in astrology is a fire sign. That's why the color is yellow, and Kepra was a water sign. Cancer, you think, is a water sign, but Kepra is a water sign. So that's why it's blue. And why is it that now the whole big picture now that you like that they still got you paralyzed, because actually you think that we know the star to rise on July 25th. And on July 25th on the Fraudulent Gregorian calendar, when you look to the southeast and you see the constellation, you're looking for Leo or Herukuti or Sekhmet or Hamashis, and Cancer. Kepra's in the sky. So how can Kepra be in the sky if this is the sign of Leo? Because the Earth, so when we did the second 3 motions of the Earth, as it rotates on its axis, it revolves around the sun, and it's tilted 23.5 degrees from vertical, which makes it wobble. Okay, but this is a wobble from vertical. Okay, vertical is not magnetic north. So now you have to add magnetic north into your equation, okay, in order to have absolute accountability and style validation. What we use is vertical north, a vertical line, as a schematic, so that you can begin to visualize and comprehend the model. But when you start using electromagnetic energy, you have to apply into magnetic north. And when magnetic north has shifted 3 to 4 degrees. And so now, this is right now where it's say we're in the Gregorian month of September, and we got through Leo was what is it, July 23rd to September 20th. So we're still in Leo, so called. Okay, so we're really in Cancer. No, we came out of Cancer, we're into Cancer. So when we get to the 23rd of September, instead of it going into Virgo, we're entering into Leo. How do I know that? All you got to do is look to the sky, look to the southeast. You're going to see the constellation of Leo now. So if Leo's in the sky, how can you be a Virgo if Leo's in the sky? Because as above, so below. Okay, if it doesn't applicate or become practically generically in tune to you through ponderable matter, you can see it in the sky. So if you're seeing Leo or Hirokuti or Sekhmet, which has the feminine and masculine principles, I'm trying to give you both feminine and masculine principles so to adjust to your teachings. And so how can you be a Virgo? Unless you're just Hellenized and lobotomized, you're suffering from the paralysis analysis. You are applicating UNP, unnecessary pain and punishment, upon yourself. And the stars are saying one thing and you want to say another thing because you've been Hellenized. You have a European mind. Think with your you have to think with your cosmic Naga swagger. It's an attunement with the universe. So let me continue on. And so we see that now Now
On the
underneath it,
second register, the second line of the register, it starts yellow.
yes, it starts
So
yellow
the
because what I did, and then underneath it, it starts off blue. Okay, because what
yellow
I did was,
represents the seasons.
yes, they represent the season. The bottom register represents the season in Tameri or in Kemet, which
Yeah.
they have three seasons. And of course, that's Shemu. And then the next season is Aket or Shait. And the next season is Pert. Now there's three seasons. Each season has 4 months. Each month has 30 days. 120, 120, 120. It's 360 days. Okay. But now I made this middle register. I made 4 seasons because not only do I want to know what season is in Kemet, I want to know what season is right here where I'm at. Okay. So it's very easy. I played 4 seasons around another ring, which has the implementations because we have winter, spring, summer, and fall. So I call these the primordial seasons, and I use the 4 attributes of manifestations of Radha Teshuvah and equated it to the mathematical and the science with the 4 primordial field force of electromagnetism, strong force, gravity, and weak force. And we put that together, and that's 90, 90. That's 90, 90 is 180, and 180 and 180 is 360. So that's 4 seasons. That has 90 days. Instead of in Kemet, you got 4 seasons. You got 3 seasons. You have 4 seasons with 90 days on the middle register, and on the bottom register, you have 3 seasons with 120 days.
And the
Okay,
blue season is Shamu.
and the blue season is Shembu because that's when the now inundates its banks. So on the Kemetic calendar, it's going to tell you that the first season is Aket. So it shows you that this corruption that's being implemented into our minds today, it happened hundreds of thousands of years ago too. There's nothing new under the sun. As above, so below. Uncle Seth played this game many times. So all the scholars are telling me that the first month, there's 12 months there's 12 months, there's 10 days in a week. So it just shows me that they have not really they have failed in their task to even come around me because I'm from the temple. I learned primordial temple discipline first. I've been in the temple for 60 years. I was born in the temple, okay? And then I learned scholarship. And then I said, so we identify what they did immediately. But if you go into scholarship and never in the temple, you just become a puppet. And then you become a violator because now you're teaching our people how to suffer the paralysis of the analysis. So all you have to do is recognize is that the sun and the star rises in the horizon together. It's called the helical rising. And today, at that particular moment, if you see the helical rising, the sun, the Nile is inundating. So if the Nile is inundating, how can Aket be the first month? It doesn't make sense. It's like they don't think you could count to 1 to 30. So they sold you a calendar of 10 days in a week. And if it's 10 days in a week, there's 3 weeks in a month. And 10 times 3 is 30. So if it's 30 days in your month, you got a Gregorian calendar. You got a Japanese calendar. You got a Chinese calendar. You got the most fugazi calendar. Our calendar has a 30-day month. It has 12 months. It has 10 months. It has 12 months in the seasonal aspect. But we have a solar aspect, a sidereal aspect, and a lunar aspect. So ours was 3 and 1. But they're selling you that they stole your yesterday, which is solar. They're denying you your tomorrow, which is sidereal, and now they're trying to get what you have right now, and that's the lunar. So you're playing with a half a deck because you're playing under scholarship. You're playing under academia. You go to school all your life to get stupid, okay? Because the worst thing we can have is an African person or a melanated person with a European mentality. That's the most retarded thing in the world, okay? So now we have to begin to think for ourselves and to think within the cosmic forces that allow us love, guidance, protection to the daily experience of punishable matter. Here we go right here. It took me 50 years to design this. Ipeteru, shabitem tuaru pamat. Ipet means to measure. Haru means day. So Reketia man, Mefudishi, Sba-t, Helical, the great Seba, Helical, and Uramak Keyor, Makakubu, Heru, they have this as an Ipeteru, which means Ipet means to measure, and Heru means the day. Then that's a great way to break down a calendar. We also use that, but we use the Shabit M3 Heru Pamaat. Shabit M3 Heru Pamaat. Shabit means the shadow. Shabit is the shadow. And Shabit M3, Twa is the star. So we have the shadow and the star. Shabit M3 Heru, Shabit M3 Heru, and the star. We have the shadow, the star, and the sun, daylight, Pama'at, and according to the doctrines of Maat. So why did we add the shadow? So this gives you, so now you have to think sacred science, divine math, and your cultural concept. I'm forcing you to applicate this information, this esoterical and esoterical information, which must be applied within the cosmic forces that allow you love, God, and protection. Because the sun is a hydrogen atom that's going to shine upon anything that has solids, liquids, and gases or matter. It's going to, if the light shines on this bottle, it's going to create a shadow. So where did the shadow come from? It came from the light. But what is the shadow? Ask anybody what a shadow is. They don't know. Nobody can explain it. They just call it a shadow. But I bet you if that heat got too hot, your little monkey butt's going to jump in there to get some shade to cool off. So boom. So what is the shadow? Why is Ptah spelled with the P? Because the P is the door. P in Medunetta is the door. Ptah's name in Medunetta means the door. It means the opener. It means he and she who opens. And it's equated to the first attribute, the second manifestation of Radha Teshra, which is Ptah, and Ptah is equated to the second field force, which is the strong force. But let me continue here with the shadow. And so the shadow is coming from the light, and the light is atomic energy, so the shadow has to be subatomic. It's very simple when you start to applicate these principles of your cultural, cosmic, spirituality, and the triangulation of the sacred science and divine math. Then you begin to see that which was once incomprehensible and ununderstandable is now revealed. It's revealed because you're seeing with your inner eye, you're hearing with your inner ear, you're speaking with your inner voice of the cosmic breath. So we're going forward. Now look at the center, look at the top part of the wheel of the spherical diagram that we call the legend.
Yeah. Now, so everyone knows this circular legend that you see. Hold on, let me do this. Is on the back of your calendar. So when you get your hold on. Please
yes.
see.
Yes, okay. No, I'm listening to you, Queen Mother.
That's where you'll find that on the back. And the register is at the top of each month.
Right. Can correspond. It reflects. It mirrors. It's a reflection. Yes, right. Go ahead, Queen.
So I put the register so we can compare it to the circular legend, which is on the back of your calendar.
Exactly. Dynamite. That's the thunderbolt. Yes.
At the top center is the blue, which is on the top line of the register, the straight line. It goes into the yellow. So that's
right. So underneath the blue, is the season of Kepra of the 4th season. That's that second ring. The second outer ring deals with the 4 seasons of the northern and southern hemisphere where we are at right now, or most of us are at. I know this is a global telecast. And for those of us in Tamarian Africa, you want to use the register, third register down, and there's the star. So when you see the star there, that represents when the star subject rises. And as you go down underneath the star, there's a line that separates the month of Ptah with the month of Jehuti. And then as you go straight down, it goes to the day of Ra. So that would be the first day of the first month of Jehuti, the first day of Ra, the first day of the first month of the first season of Shemu. Bam! You're lined up.
The outer ring is the
zodiac and the phenomenon of precession. It's the phenomenon of precession.
And the third ring are the seasons.
Are the northern southern hemisphere seasons, yes.
Okay. And the 4th inner ring.
The third inner ring. The third. Okay, yeah, there is 4, right. Okay, the outer ring, the first outer ring represents the phenomenon of precession, the 26,000 years. The second one is still within, is merging with the first one, but that represents the signs of the zodiac, the 12 signs of the zodiac.
Okay, hold on, because the outermost ring, I'm counting it as the first. Okay, so it has some lines.
Right.
Okay, so don't overlook the lines, everybody.
Right. That's 21 lines, which represents 2,100 years. Okay. And these 2,100 years on the outermost ring can be mathematically equated as 3 700 rings or 7 300 rings. It doesn't matter how you get to the 21. It's 2,161 years for the sun to pass through each great age. 2,161. 2 times 12 is 24, and 100 is 25. It comes out to 26,000 years. And it takes the sun 72 years to precess 1 degree backwards. It precesses. It goes counterclockwise because we're moving. Everything else on the zodiac is moving clockwise, but the outer ring is moving counterclockwise. That's what you got to remember. You have to visualize that. Visualize the outer ring moves counterclockwise because it precesses. This is the precession of equinox. This is what they don't want you to know. They don't want your mind to be able to fluctuate to the left and the right. You got to use both cranium. You got to use both parts of the brain because it's the way movement is. Motion is a requirement, and the separating of the collective energy contained within a motionless cold void, such as new permeability, nothing, dark energy, cosmological constant, or oblivion. So now, on the outermost ring, there's a yellow line sticking out, and there's a red line sticking out. One is the 23.5 degrees from vertical that the earth wobbles. The second one is called the ecliptic plane. This is the plane that when you see on the spring equinox, you see that line in which the zodiac follows that line. It's called the ecliptic plane. And you only be able...
You speaking about the two lines behind the circular legend.
Yes, the yellow and the purple, yes, or the burgundy, yes.
Top and it comes at the bottom.
Right. The yellow, it goes right down to the bottom. The yellow is 12. That's the line that separates, that gives you a schematic in your mind. You have to be able to visualize the 23.5 degrees tilt of the earth, which is the second motion, which is the third motion of the earth. Because we just discussed the 3 motions of the earth. It rotates, it revolves around the sun, and it's tilted 23.5 degrees from vertical, which makes it wobble and can make you that 26,000 years. So all these have to be going, these have to be fluctuating through your mind because you're melanated. This is your cosmic Naga swagger. You're getting your swagger on. You're getting your attunement on. You're becoming infused with the cosmic forces that allow you love, guidance, and protection through the daily experiences of ponderal matter. And so this is why, and so now, this is why you remember the Hessie at the beginning that me and the Queen Mother performed. We don't do that for nothing. We do that for you and for us, and to us to connect to these cosmic forces and to be able to see this movement, this motion, these cycles. And these cycles have to be applicated through the color code, because our ancestors wrote everything in a color code, a sound code, and a star code. And each stands in mute testimony, and it's in Medu Nectar. So now you got to learn how to read. I took every aspect. This was originally a model from the Zodiac of Dendra. But when I seen the Zodiac of Dendra, that's Ptolemy and the boys. If you look around it, that's why they left it on the wall. What happened to the other hundreds of thousands of other Zodiac spherical diagrams that were in Kemet? Why can't we find any more until we go into the tomb room of Settlement? And even Ramesses has, his is flat. But Settlement, his is flat. There's no more spherical that they haven't found any. There's still some underground that they haven't never found. But the reason why they left the Zodiac of Dendra there, because it's Ptolemy. You're Hellenized. As soon as you look at it, you get Hellenized and lobotomized. You suffer from the paralysis of the analysis. You become injured humanity. You lose all perception of your spirituality, and you become a mental, physical spirit. That's why they left it there. Because everybody knows if you look at the 36 deacons that run around the Zodiac of Dendra, half of them are foreign deities. You got a Persian deity there. You got a Babylonian deity there. You got Greek deities there. You got more deities. It's a soup of madness. But the number 36 represents the 36 deacons. So if you keep a mathematical perspective, you can separate that. Okay? And that's what I did. Okay? So yes, Queen Mother.
I heard you cough. Do you need your water?
Yes, I'm getting it.
Is here, so he probably, let me look in the comments. He probably said it, or he's about to.
Somebody told me to drink some water. I couldn't even see.
No, I was going to see if AstMaatTfNut did, because he's here in the comments.
Okay. I know the great Sba-t.
I heard you talk. I said, AstMaatTf about to get him.
So you have to remember. So I took every aspect of any fraudulent, any Hellenistic, anything that could be a violation to your thoughts. I extract it because it has no purpose to be there. And I watch the video of astrology. Your zodiac signs are behind, are being replaced. Link is in the post. Okay, follow Ramutef's link there. That's the head. That's my head elder Seba Ramutef Queb, who
Yeah,
is
that's
going.
the broadcast we did together on the
Okay, beautiful. Nefir, Ekir, divine, excellence, Ramutef Queb. Dua.
Hellenized words like Leo and Sagittarius that people are using.
Exactly. So what this how you able to put the zodiac signs together, the zodiac signs together, is that now in the temple of Luxor or Karnak in Kemet, they have an avenue of sphinxes with the heads of rams that's orientated to the spring equinox. Because everybody understand this. Okay, in the temple, let me reiterate. In the temple of Luxor and Karnak, Chris Craft 99, Dua,
That's
Siba.
Kai Creators from YouTube. Peace, Kai Creators.
Okay, Dua. And in the temple of Luxor, they have an avenue of sphinxes with ram heads that's orientated to the spring equinox. And when the sun came into that alignment, the temple of Amen became Amen Ra. So I asked the Kemetic people, what do you believe in? They don't even know what they believe in. Oh, I believe in Amen Ra. If you believe in Amen Ra, you're 4,000 years too late. Amen Ra is a star date. Now, before Amen Ra, which is Aries astrologically, we go back 2,161 years. We end up in the Hellenistic European sign of Taurus. And Taurus is Ptah. How do I know that Taurus is Ptah? Because the Shabaka stone. In the Shabaka stone, Ptah is the supreme deity. Ptah cannot be the supreme deity because Ptah is the second attribute of manifestation of Radha Teshara and is the second primordial field force of electromagnetism strong. Ptah is the strong force. So how can Ptah be the creator of all things? Only because it's a star message. It's a star code. In the temple of Menepha, the white wall, that temple in Memphis is constructed with these megalithic stone polygonal and polymer architectural designs, and the stone walls are orientated to the spring equinox for the constellation of Taurus in European ideology. Greeting, oh Salima, Ellis, Dua, Panata, Pupamat. So if the wall, the white wall, Memphis or Menepha is aligned to the spring equinox of Taurus, and they worship the Apis bull inside of the temple of Menepha. And inside the temple of Menepha, they worship Ptah is the supreme deity in the temple of Menepha. So they're only telling you that this is the great golden age of Ptah. That's why you see Ptah so rigidly strong, because he's in the age of Taurus. That was an age when all the artistical values and all the messages were done with muscular and masculine and powerful statues and artwork. It was all magnificently brilliant. So now, so we know that Ptah is the constellation of Taurus. We know where they got Taurus from. It came from the Apis bull. And we know inside the temple of Menepha where they found the Shabaka stone, it was a papyrus that was woolly, it was worn, it was worm eaten. And Shabaka took it and said, oh man, it's got the Zep-Tepi on it. It's got the origins of existence, the creation, development of the universe. He said, listen, I want you guys to put this in stone. And he put it on the stone and they called it the Shabaka stone. That's where the Shabaka stone came from. It came from the temple of Menepha when Shabaka took over up in the Sba-t. He united the two lands of Kemet, the northern and southern regions. He commemorated with the Shabaka stone. So we have an idea now. We know that the temple of Amen, of the Luxor, they worshipped Amen Ra. But we know Amen Ra couldn't be the supreme being because Amen means the hidden one. Amen means in science represents the field force, the third primordial field force, which is gravity. Amen means the hidden one, and Amen is the primordial mound because gravity in our cultural, cosmic, spirituality in the Medunetta text, in the Mastaba text, in the Pyramid text, the Kappa text, the Shabaka stone. It's all part of the Kemenu, the Anu text. It all says, I am he, she who existed in the primeval ocean of nothingness eons and eons of evolutions ago, before the beginnings of time. And when I thought that the moment had come, he said, I thought. Now he's embracing Temu. Temu is the first attribute of manifestation around Nebuchadnezzar. Temu means to think. Temu means thought. Temu means mentalism. Temu means to plan, and Temu is equated scientifically to electromagnetism. He said, when I thought the moment had come, I fashioned my mouth and I uttered my name as a word of power. With this power that was my birthright, I straightway came into form. So now he planted his mouth, he spoke his name. And when the creator spoke his name, he opened the door. And that door was, in the door, he spoke his name because in Medunetta, the name is with a mouth and the water sign. Ren. Ren means name, but if you turn it upside down, you got the water sign in the mouth is Nur. And Nur means energy. So when the creator spoke his name and the energy was released, he opened a door opened up. So here's Ptah, because we know Ptah means the door. Ptah means to open. So you start putting things together. You have to add the Medunetta into your study. This is primordial temple discipline methodology. So we got sacred science, divine math. We got our culture, spirituality. And then we got astrology and astronomy. And we got the Medunetta encompassing everything. And boom, now you got absolute accountability, style validation. And now everything's starting to reveal itself. Now you're beginning to remember because it's a frequency. And you're not going to get it overnight. You're not going to get it in one dose. I can't force feed it to you, but I can lead you to the water, but I can't make you drink it. But now you just got to applicate what I'm saying to you through the ponderable matter of cosmic forces, because they're there as above, so below. So now we're moving on. So we go Pisces is Uncle Set. Okay, so here we are here. So if we go to the outer ring to the far side, to the left side at 9 o'clock, and we look at 9 o'clock on the outer ring, we'll see the ram, and that would be the age of Aries. So we go down, and that's the fire sign. The yellow is because it's a fire sign. So we go from there, we go above that, it's a green side. Fire, earth, air, water. Fire, earth, air, water. Fire, earth, air, water. Okay, so everybody follows that. The outer ring is a color code for the zodiac signs, and we know Aries or Amen. Amen is a fire sign. Taurus or Ptah is a earth sign. Gemini, or Gemini or Shu and Tefnut is an air sign, and Cancer, which is Kepra, is a water sign. Then we go back to the fire again. Leo, Kepra. Leo is Sekhmet or Hirokuti or Hamashis, which is a fire sign. Then we have Ast, which is Virgo, which is the earth sign. And we'll go, this is a color code. Everybody can follow the color code. It's on your back of your calendar now. That's your color code for the zodiac signs, okay? And you have the names for it, and all the names are in Medunetta. All you got to do is leave that European thing alone. Tell your astrologist people down the street or whoever's online teaching you that foolishness every day. That foolishness every day. Oh, the Mercury is retrograding, and it's retrograding because Pisces and Sagittarius. Excuse me.
And we're
So
going
we
to
get down.
cover the astrology again for this series in a later segment. I know Sba-t had asked if we could talk about, where is it at? He asked if we could discuss the Talmerian, what did he say? Yeah, for the 12 processions. So we'll
Can we
discuss
go through the Tamarian names? Yes, yes, we can.
the zodiac.
Right, we can go right through that.
Today we're just talking about the top register on each month specifically, and this will definitely go into a part 2. So next segment will cover the remaining months that we don't cover today.
Yes, yes, absolutely. But what you have to remember, excuse me, Queen Mother?
Also, right quick, for Sba-t, and he's speaking about these
The
broad
12,
navigating
yes.
pages, and
Navigation, navigation.
send
Oh,
them
which page?
to
Which page?
you.
Which
Um,
page?
I do appreciate you sharing that. The astrology,
Ramutef's going to send you assistance, yes.
yeah, the astrology part was going to come later, but not
Yes,
but it's part of this. So we'll
right,
come up. So from now on,
right,
what I will do is to be sure to include those links in the description, and then people
yes,
can choose whether they use the links or not. So
right.
do I
But
will
we
see
could,
God,
do
for
our,
sure.
but we can run to the 12 real quick. Pisces is Uncle Set. Pisces is Set. Aries is Amen. Taurus is Ptah. Gemini is Shu and Tefnut. Cancer is Kepler. Leo is Sekhmet or Herukuti. And then we have Virgo is Ast. Then we have Libra. Now, Libra we call Upuat because the jackal has three forms. The jackal is the jackal. Then the jackal headed is Ampu, Twamutef, Ampu, and Upuat because we're using Maat's name in the great golden age of Aquarius, where we just dawned on because I wanted to use all three aspects so that we receive its all divine benevolent inspiration and vibrations with the frequency. But of course, but we know that so we go back before Pisces. We have Aquarius, which is Ma'at Hapi Asar. Now Aquarius is a water bearer, but it's Aquarius is an air sign. And when the water is poured out on you, it's a cleansing. So because of the cleansing, we call it ma'at. And because the cleansing water is the now, we call it hapi. But we know that is an age of the resurrection of Asar and Asarianization because Uncle Set was Pisces. Asar has to be before Uncle Set because them two are always together. And now we begin to remember. And so I put all three names together for that purpose, but I should have left Ma'at for Libra because the scales. But we're looking now on a cosmic level. So we took that into consideration, everybody. So I replaced Ma'at's name on Libra with Upuat because Upuat is an attendant and Li is Upuat means the opener of ways. And the opener of the ways, it leads you into the halls of double truth where the soul is purged of all sins and where you see the faces of all the Netarus, pronounced the Usa Medu Nefeka U, Anuka Bet Kweb, Anuka Bet Kweb, I am pure, Anuk Perto Tep, I come in peace, I come in peace. So that wasn't so now we got through. So I just want to let you know why somebody might be asking, well, why is it Libra? Why isn't Ma'at Libra? So I just want to let you know why, because we were entering into this new age up here of Ma'at Asar, which is aka Aquarius. But now let's go. Now we go back to Virgo, which is Ast, and then we go to Libra, which is Upuat. Then we go before Upuat, we got Scorpio, that's Selket, because the primordial mother nature, the mother nature, Selket is Scorpio. The Scorpio nature is called Selket, And then before Selket, we have Sagittarius. And Sagittarius, boom. What the hell? They got a man on a horse, but he got an arrow in his hand. Boom. So now I went back to our primordial antiquity archives and pulled out a neat. We pulled neat out. Neat has the bow with the double. He has the short bow. It's the bow with the half conic circle on it, and with the two bows. It's a short bow. It's a Nubian bow. The Nubian has the short bow. Tarseti has the short bow, and with two arrows. It has two arrows. So you see the two arrows with the shield, with the bow. Boom. That's neat. All I did was took out that man on the horse. Ain't no man on no horse. That's some Greek Hellenistic paradigm doctrines of ancient humanity. I took I took out their fabrication and I replaced it with this purity of our antiquitous cultural cosmic spirituality. So we pulled out neat. So Sagittarius is neat. NTHNIT NITH. Long as you don't use the E, you're on the right path, okay? Because the E is always silent. We have vowels, but the E is always silent. Now we leave neat and we go up to Capricorn. Now I said, damn, so Capricorn is a anthropomorphic which has three beings in one. So I went back into our ancient primordial scripts and the Akasha, right back into the book of all knowings, in the Medunetta, the Vastava text, the pyramid text, the coffin text. I went all the way back, and who do I find? But in the Hall of Judgment, we have an amphiphobical creature whose name is Amit or Amut, who has the head of a crocodile, has the paws of a leopard, and the hind parts of a hippopotamus. Bam! I found Capricorn. So the constellation of Capricorn is Amut or Amit. And of course, moving back and get forward again, we go to Maat, which is Aquarius, aka as Aquarius. So that's the 12 signs broken down. Go ahead, Queen Mother, I'm with you.
Okay, so to recap, because I gave out some wrong, and I was looking at this
It's okay.
wrong. So we start on the outer ring, and
Right.
or you want to not overlook those lines.
Right. The outer ring has a small ring. The outer ring is a little skinny ring, and
Yeah, that's the phenomenon of
that's the
possession.
movement of the 12 signs of the zodiac. 2,161 years, and the sun precesses 1 degree every 72 years. So this is my watch right now, and I'm 10 years into 72 years. So I'm 10 years. So I got 62 more years before the sun fully precesses 1 degree. And we got Ramutef Kweb to measure it for the next 72 years. The host has unmuted your mic. My mic's unmuted now?
You was fine. It just was a quick second. I was trying to unmute my
Oh,
mic.
okay. So did everybody get that? The outer ring is the phenomenal precession, 26 times, but that's the thin ring. That thin ring out there has 21 lines on it. 21 means 2,000. Each one line is 100 years. So that's 2,100 years because every sign or every great age has 2,161 years. 2 times 12 is 24, 100 is 25. The remainder comes out to 26,000 years. Okay. Now in that same ring, because that same color code, we look at the color code, it just merges right into it. That's the 12 signs of the zodiac. Okay, which moves on the 30-day cycle. That moves on the 30-day cycle, and that encompasses the aspect of the agricultural aspect of our calendar. Because remember, this calendar is a 3-in-1. It's solar, sidereal, and lunar. And then I incorporated the Gregorian calendar right on top of it because it's nothing but a plagiarized version of our African calendar anyway. So it's actually a 4-in-1 calendar. So we can tell time on any planet, any place on this planet, we can have accurate time. Okay, so now we move down. So that's the signs of the zodiac. Remember the color code. So we start off with Cancer at the top at 12 o'clock, which is Kepra. Then we move over to Leo, Cancer, which is Kepra. That's a water sign. Leo to the right, moving to the right at 1 o'clock. We have Leo, which is Kepra, which is Herukuti or Sekhmet, and that is yellow, which is fire. We move to the right to 2 o'clock. We got As, which is Virgo, which is As, and that is an earth sign. That's why it's green. Then we move to Leo. Not Leo, Libra. Libra is an air sign. That's why it's silver, and that's Upuat. And then we move down under. We see the Scorpion. And the Scorpion, you don't see it. I hope everybody got their calendar at home right now looking at the calendar. Don't forget to buy your calendar. And if you can, don't forget to send a donation today. Did you receive any donations today, Queen Mother? Can somebody make sure they send a donation to the Queen Mother Goddess, AstMaatTfNut? She's here putting in the work for you. She brought me here. I don't want a dime for myself. I never asked the Ramesh for any money. Don't send me nothing. Please send some donation to the great Queen Mother Goddess, AstMaatTfNut, Joy Allen. We need you to support her. I said, stop smoking that marijuana and pass that card into the machine and make sure you donate $1 to $5 to $10 to $20, whatever it is that you can afford to send right now. I know it's coronavirus. I know that stimulus ain't came in and everything else, but you buying that marijuana, you got that bomb going on. I see that bomb. Make sure you send some money to the great Queen Mother Goddess, our most revered, Reverend Queen Mother Goddess, AstMaatTfNut. Make sure somebody, please, I need to see somebody, her Cash App should be lighting up right now. Don't light up the joint, light up her Cash App. Oh my goodness. Let me see. Is somebody here? Okay. Is somebody telling me they're donating right now? Okay, somebody's donating right now. come on, family. Let's get it together, okay? Anyways, this is our story. This is not history. We have nothing to do with his story or his story. This is our story. First frequency specifically. Do you know what it feels like to be an uncrowned Nasut, Hemet, king and queen, lacking honor, a crown, a throne, a Merku, a solar civil lunar calendar, and just about everything? Well, let me tell you of our story, of our most earliest ancient African indigenous primordial ancestors in their glory. Those who were born from the great line of Nasuts and Hemets, kings and queens. Those who were born from the great line of Nasuts and Hemets, kings and queens. From diamonds and pearls and emeralds and all sorts of precious things. Everyday trinkets for those of us who were born from the great line of Nasuts and Hemets, kings and queens. Everyday trinkets for those of us who were born from the great line of Nasuts and Hemets, kings and queens. But without your past, you can only live life in half. Half man, half woman, half beast, half slave. And this trend of thought is all that you have sought, all that you have bought without knowledge of yesterday, without knowledge of yesterday. Oh, let not the flames die out. Cherished age after golden great age, and its sacred caverns and holy temples cherished, fed by the pure Nagas, Shemserus, Nesubitis, Hemet, Sba-t, Munatat, the Immortality cherished. Oh, let not the flames die out. The prophecy states that we will be sent something from the past to be joined by something from the future, something from the physical world to join with the spiritual world. The Samatawi union of both the past and the future, the physical and the spiritual world, will be contained in the revelations of a secret mystical diagram called the Ipeteru Shabitem Tuaru Pamat to ensure your divine birthright and to facilitate your path to of immortality, to be one, brand new as a star, expanding with the universe forever and ever. Anuk Heru, Anuk Heru. I, I am Heru. I give you my wings so that you may fly. I give you my eyes so that you will never die. Oh, you divine Nagas, Shemtaru, Nesibitis, Hemet, Sba-t, Munatat, Semoto, Maat, cherish, gather, come hither, come thither, rally unto me, and I will indeed show you the path to immortality. Follow the movements of the stars, Substance, Cyrus, and Ra, and you will find yourself in a perfect state in space and time. Acknowledge the divine cosmic environment that you are seeing, and you will desire to acquire the ability to experience the phenomenon of being. Dua, dua, dua.
Dua, usigo kitasi gorsa. So are you done? Are you leaving us? You closing out?
No, I'm just. We got
Okay, you just
8 more
pray.
minutes. I just
You just
I
pray.
just like to add a little poetry in there. Let them know we from the temple. We do
Okay.
everything at the temple. We do
Very
martial
well.
art. We're military priests. You have to know every aspect, and so we making sure as you learn how to tell time. And as I close up, don't think this time is going to do you any good. If you're going to wake up in the morning, or you're going to go in that refrigerator right now, eat that hamburger, eat some flesh, or eat some nonsense that's going to bring you to the hospital, and they're going to put a toe tag on you and a body bag on you. Okay, we need our family, our Mets, to start to eat better. There is a limit, not a diet. The first rule of the first rule of the limit: eat only of the seed. If it doesn't have a seed, don't put it in your mouth. The only thing you put in your mouth that doesn't have a seed is water. Okay, this is your cosmic naga swagger. You don't need, this isn't rocket science. This is sacred science. Okay. Rule number 2: don't eat and drink at the same time. You ever notice? Every time you bite this, you washing it down. Don't eat and drink at the same time, because when you do, you mix your solids with your liquid. You create an acidy brew. That's why everybody's blowing up, big bellies, got 3 rings hanging down the side, losing your hair. It's because you burnt out your hair follicles. Your body's being overworked. You're constipating the body, and this is where the sicknesses come from. So rule number 2: never eat and drink at the same time. Rule number 3: Eat as the table earth prepares the food. From the ground, from the vine, or from the tree. It's only coming from 3 spots, unless they dropping it down out of a helicopter from UNICEF or one of them. And you know that's a poison. If they're dropping you food, you know they're gonna kill you. Okay. And now we have rule number 4. Never eat to your fill. Do not overeat. Do not glut yourself because you're gonna shut the body down. The body will go to sleep. Your mind's already sleeping. They already got you already mind sleeping. Now they put your body to sleep. They make you the walking dead, and now you're lost in space. And this is supposed to be your new normal after this. It's supposed to have been a new normal, but they got another normal coming in that's going to incapacitate you. You're going to be Hellenized and lobotomized. You're actually going to be disconnected from your thoughts, from your body. With a face mask on, with a mask on, with an air tank on. They're charging you for air, they're charging you for everything. And then rule number 5 is to fast occasionally. Certain periods of the year, you must refrain from eating to purify, cleanse, and detox the body from impurities. And we do this during and for certain periods of years, you must refrain from eating to cleanse the body and so. And we do this during the we do this during the solstices and the equinox and during the full moon cycles and so on and so forth. And when you the air, the food that you eat should be as the air you breathe. In with the good, out with the bad. And when you buy your calendar, make sure you put the calendar low on the wall if you have children. If you have children, make sure it's low on the wall so when they walk by, they can see it. Make sure it's at the children's eye level so they can see it. They, wow, daddy, mommy, what's that? Who's that? That's Heru. That's Heru. I do Keru. I do Keru. I do Keru. Right? Sing that poem. You got to rock their world with that frequency. And yes, did we get a donation yet, Queen Mother? I know after that poetry and everything, y'all working me up here, my family. I don't mind being working. I'm receiving energy. I receive energy just being on your show, being in your presence, Queen Mother, with the royal family. No one has donated 1 penny.
They couldn't even meet the dollar challenge either.
They couldn't make the dollar challenge. Come on, Queen Mother.
B Calico puts the dollar challenge out on every show.
He put $1. Can we have a okay, for those of you who have been, sometimes I talk and I put you cosmic, and sometimes I'm bringing you back to earth now. These are not the droids you're looking for. Come on back down. And now everybody's here. Can you please donate to the Queen Mother and to her Cash App? A dollar challenge donations to everybody. Please, por favor. Si puedes, si quieres. There's the Cash App right there. We can't even get a funky dollar, a dirty funky dollar. That's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. I don't want a dirty funky dollar.
I know we don't want a dirty funky dollar. But we do want the funk, that P-funk. Okay, but we're having a great time here. We're moving on. Next week, we're going to continue on with this series of the precious treasure, immortality. And we're going to go more deeper. So right now, we're just dealing with the atomic level, the astrological, the days of the week, the months of the year, the seasons, the annual orbit, the movements of the earth, the 3 most movements. It rotates, it revolves, and then it's tilted 23.5 degrees on its axis, which makes a 26,000-year cycle called a phenomenal precession. And this phenomenal precession produces our movement around our quadrant of the Milky Way galaxy. And that's 26,000 years. But now, for that 26,000 years to come back to original position, that's 250 million years. That's the Milky Way. That's our Milky Way galaxy. And then it's expanding with the universe. The story gets even greater. We're going to go on. This is Cosmic Temple. This is Primordial Temple Discipline First Frequency, specifically AstMaatTfNut. Every day on this show, every show that we do is a new show. You get to attain your cultural spirituality, and that's what we're here for. But you can't get it and think you're going to steal it. You can't steal what I'm giving to you. You can't steal this calendar. You can't perpetrate a fraud to this calendar. So now you're going to make me turn it to the other guy. Now, I didn't get $1 donation. Now you want to see the other side of my face. Right? Okay. You can't steal this here. You can't be like Nebuchadnezzar. We got a deity. in the Duat, in the Duat. He's in the 12th hour. It's the 7th hour of the night in the Duat. He's called Nebuchadnezzar. And when Ra comes into the light, into that hour, Nebuchadnezzar got the bowl. He got the bowls of offerings and food. And he bringing it to the deceased or to the transition ancestor. And then as soon as Ra passes that hour, Nebuchadnezzar drops the bowls and breaks out his knives. You know, we've seen people like you before. You're called Sethian. So you're still my Naga. You're still melanated. Just because you're melanated, don't think that you can get this information. You have to be a Shemsu Heru. You have to be a divine. You have to be you an immortal one of Maat. That's why I say my Nagas, my Shemsu Herus, my Nesupitis, my Hemets, my Sba-t, my Natas, the immortal ones of Maat. We're talking about the divine ones, the universal monarchs. Our symbol is the snake, it's the cobra, it's the serpent, it's the sun, it's the moon, it's the lion. And it's on every ancient architectural megalithic monument all over this planet. We were the first emperors of Rome. I mean, the first emperors of China, the first emperor of Korea, the first emperor of Japan was a black man, and it was a Nagarjuna, and he was an immortal one of Ma'at. And it's still on the pyramids in China. They don't even want us to come around them pyramids because they know there's black people in the pyramids. So that means the black people were the birthpot of the Chinese civilization, the Japanese civilization, all Eastern Europe, all that Western, everything came from us. That's why when you get off the plane in Japan, they look at you, they think it's the Nagarjuna. Oh man, he's back. He's gonna save us. Then you open up your mouth. They say, oh, that's a nigga. That's a nigga with a Christian book in his hand with a cross on around his neck. You don't even know they're over there waiting for you. They're waiting for you. They're waiting for us. The whole world is waiting for us to wake up. Only we can save this world. And what you got to understand is, I try to keep a little humor here because y'all be too, I don't want to be all rigid and stuff, but you better understand, we're getting ready to go into, we got climate change, warming, global warming. It's called environmental relapse, as above, so below. We just made a 26,000 year cycle, one complete orbit around the Milky of the phenomenon of precession. We are 10 years into the new age order of Asar, and 10 years into our cycle back around the 26,000 year cycle. Remember, it takes 72 years to make 1 degree, to precess 1 degree. And as we're moving through this precession, our sun now is moving through a pot we call the cosmic rift. Please Google it. Just Google it. Cosmic, R-I-F-T, the cosmic rift. They know what you're looking for. They're going to show you that the sun is entering a part of the Milky Way galaxy that is void of light. And when it's void of light, this means that the sun immediately, because of the gaseous plasma around it, that it's going to encapsulate itself into a cosmic bubble. And that because it has the sun's dragging 9 planets with us at all times. So now this means that this encapsulation means that now, because of certain scientific things, but let me just say that now we have, remember, this is climate change, global warming, and environmental relapse. Why is it happening? Why do we go through these extinctions? Why is this always a record of this happening? Because this isn't our first waltz. This isn't our first dance. This isn't our first rodeo. We've been here millions and millions of times before. Our ancestors left a message on the wall. So now viscous matter is going to be pulled off the surface of the sun. And these CMEs, coronal mass ejections, some will be earth directed. And those that are earth directed are going to create these supermassive volcanoes, these supermassive earthquakes. I mean, magnitude 9 and up, 16 to make a skyscraper scrape a snap, make these whole cities tip over. They're gonna tip over. Yeah, all this Western technology, all this Western civilization, it's gonna fall back. It's gonna be nothing but sediment. And then now the earth, the tectonic plates are going to liquefy. And when they liquefy, you've got the flash floods. And with the flash floods, you got mud flashes. So that's what we see in our extinction protocols. We've seen through the earth sediments and through geological remains, we've seen the meters of sediments and then ash sediments. Then you got mud sediments. Then you got solid earth sediments. These are extinction protocols. They have a phenomenon. So we know what a tsunami is. Recently we're starting to see the tsunamis. They didn't think it was for real. Or they know it's for real now, but they got a tsunami of mud. It's called a mud flash. And it's over 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 feet high, over 5 meters high. And it's going to be a mud flash, and it's going to cover whole cities. Whole cities are going to be, you're going to be walking. Oh, well, the city is on the ground. That's what every time they dig, every time the wind blows in Kemet, every time and you see all these statues with the noses chipped off, but guess what? Let the wind blow, and the wind blows, and the sand uncovers more of our pyramids. We got pyramids all over the world. We got temples all over the world. We have everything is there coming back. It's all coming back to you. Yes, Queen Mother.
Your headphone is hitting something. You're getting excited. It's doing a lot of movement.
I'm trying to stay cool because we didn't make our dollar. We didn't make our dollar challenge. We didn't make a dollar challenge. That's
Corey met the dollar challenge.
Did we get $1? I mean, can we get one? I'm gonna set $1. Where's my? Let me put. I'll throw the challenge in for. Don't worry about it. I'll cover everybody today. I'll cover the frequency. Yes, Queen Mother.
Corey met the dollar challenge. Corey met the dollar challenge.
Dua Siba. Pada tapu pamara kwasta jet. Uncle Johnson never moving up your kip on the buru my teacher my divine Siba Corey. Dua.
Siba Corey. For maybe the dollar challenge and for the gift.
I bet you the Jews, the Japanese, the Chinese, they're all laughing. They can't even send this brother. They can't even send this Nasu and him at a freaking dollar. So this is what I'm dealing with. I'm dealing with the Khemetic community. Who's going to tell me? The Khemetic community tells me that there aren't 9 days in a week. They actually think that you're stupid enough that you cannot count to 30. So if their calendar has 30, Dua, Kadim Bay, Dua'u, East Wind, Kadim Bay, Dua. They actually think that you can't count to 30. They're going to try to sell you or try to force upon you a calendar that has a lunar aspect, and the calendar you have on your wall has a lunar aspect. So the Khemetic community is worse than the slave master that's putting us in under the foot of the heels. Because I asked them. Because they don't talk to me. Because they already know I'm going to ask your teacher. I'm going to ask, since you want to not give up $1, I'm going to show you my other face. Look at that. Battery power is going down to 15%. I don't know that the news don't want me to say it. Your teachers actually do not think you can count to 30. Because it takes the moon to wax and wane 29.5 days. So any calendar that has 30 days is a lunar cycle calendar. It's an agricultural calendar. It's only good for feeding you. It's a mathematical equation. Simplify the donation process and funds will flow. Okay, Siba, Walter, Gerald, Makunte. We're gonna make it very simple for you. Flash up there we go. Is that simple enough, sir? Siba? All right, Dua Siba. I guess you're gonna make a great donation because your name just got flashed up there.
And the links are in the description also.
The links in the description. For those that have too much marijuana smoke in their eyes, who can't see right now and can't find their glasses, it's in the description. Okay? Come on now. Come on. Let's not play with the games, okay? All right. One thing I don't do is violate. Once you violate, you become part of the correction. Your teachers are violating. Your teachers are lying to you. Your Khemetic teachers are simplify the donation process. Just send funds. Todd, M, Scourge. Dua, Panatapu Pamat, Anquesta Jet, Panatapu Pamat. You have to understand that I ask the Khemetic people, what do they believe in? Who is your spirit? Where's your spiritual? What are you telling the people? I believe in Haru. This represents atomic energy, and Haru is from the Shemshir, from the Great Light and from the Suits and Hemets. That's still not telling me who you believe in. Well, I believe in Sekhmet. Sekhmet is the mother goddess, the daughter of Ra. She was sent upon mankind because they stopped believing in the Netheru. So Ra said, Sekhmet said, hey, Ra, don't eat no more Sekhmet. Sekhmet said, listen, I'm hungry. She all mankind. So Jehuti and Seshat came together And when Sekhmet got tired from with all that blood on her, she slept in this lake. They put the mandrake root and the moringa, and they put it all in the water. And when Sekhmet got up to drink it, she stopped killing everybody. But anyways, Sekhmet's not the origins of existence, creation, development, universe. Where does it all lie? Where does your spirituality lie? Where is your cultural cosmic culture? Your speeches teachers can't tell you. They don't know nothing about the concept of self-creation. I never heard nobody speak of Ra Never Teshuvah or even Nev or Tesha. You got that picture with the boat of a million years, Queen Mother, with Kepler in the middle. You got a boat with the Nu holding up the boat with the beetle, and with Newt hanging down with, and they can't even tell you anything about Nebuchadnezzar. I never seen one teacher speak of Nebuchadnezzar, and even Budge and Bremstead and Petrie and Reisner, all the great, and Birches and Bremstead. Not that one. That's Rod Nebuchadnezzar right there. That's
Right.
the picture.
What did you say?
The picture with the boat of a million years, with Nu holding up the boat, and on the boat is Kepler in the middle, with 7 deities on the side, with hanging down from the top, you see Newt holding on Osiris. If you could find, I just want to show them, I just want to show these scholars where Nebuchadnezzar's name is in the Medu text that's been right before their eyes all the time. But no one's ever spoken. I never heard one person speak of Nebuchadnezzar. But you know Jesus, you know Allah, you know all this imposters. No, that's new. So you don't know who your spirituality is. You don't know the concept of self-creation. This represents the hours of,
that one.
yeah, no, okay, don't worry about it, Queen Mother. It's okay. I just wanted to, because I'm getting ready to stop firing people up. I'm upset that I did all this talking and not one person sent in one donation, but two. We finally got 2 donations after the 2-hour mark. The rest of the people are going to check the channel now. They think they got what they want. But this works. You have to work at this. You have to devote yourself to primordial temple discipline. When you wake up in the morning, you have to say your hesse, hete poo, dua, ooh. And there's that I met. I don't do this for nothing. I do this because I'm frequentizing, I'm connecting to my divine math, my sacred science, my cultural cosmic spirituality. It's an attunement that can only be done through uttering the usa medu nefer heka'u. Usa medu nefer, usa medu nefer. Usa means power, medu means words, nefer means divine. Divine words of power. You would say heka, heka'u. And within this heka'u, you perform your hesi. I got these teachers going to start there. Today, Sunday, we're going to discuss. Just by saying Sunday, usa medu nefer. Yes, Queen Mother got it. Just by saying Sunday, he or she just Hellenized your mind. That's a violation. That's called contraband. This is a whole new age order. That thing that worked in the 60s, ashe, namaste, I pour out these libations to the ancestors, and I ask the ancestors for permission to speak. So I'm in the room, and I ain't heard one ancestor say you can speak. I heard somebody in the audience say that they was an ancestor and they gave you permission to speak. That doesn't work no more. That worked in the 60s. That worked in the 70s. That worked in the Mau Mau during the Black Panther days when we was just learning how to get ourselves together. You know, the Kemetic people are nothing but some brothers out of Broward County, all the black colleges back in the 60s and 70s that went to Kemet, to Luxor and Karnak, the 18th dynasty Kemet, and they found their spirituality with Amen Ra. That's why everybody talks that Amen Ra crap. Because these are the brothers, they're all Christians, they're all ministers. They didn't find those absolute accountability there. Because you can't find it if you isolate yourself and you tunnel vision yourself. And plus, you eat that night, you eat the pig, you ate the cow, you ate everything that destroyed your frequency. You can't bring that to the table anymore. We have an ipiteru, a shabit, and tuaru pama'at. Do you know you cannot become a solvent state unless you have a calendar? We have a calendar, the original calendar of humankind. So how are you going to come to the table and you can't even bring your spirituality? They got you still thinking about God. If you don't follow it, where the God, if the God's going to kill you, God ain't going to do jack doodle. I got children still believing in God. They don't speak to me. Dad, if you don't believe in God, I'm not speaking to you anymore. I guess we ain't going to speak for a little while. You don't have to learn your lesson of me. You don't have to learn it. I don't know. I'll just make me some more kids. Okay? I know that they do not know because they're not telling you. You don't know. Everybody has an identity crisis. And even I don't care if you're gay. you can find alike because our creator is androgynous. Androgynous, the creator, our creator, Ra Nebuchadnezzar, is a he and a she. It says in the Medunet, I am he with the F and she with the T. The T and the F is he, she. It says Anuk to Nuke. That's what it says in Medunet. This isn't Ptah. It's in the Medunet text. It stands in mute testimony in the pyramid text of Una Steta Deja Daneb. It's in the coffin text. It's in the Kemenu. It's in all the texts. They're not telling you because they're making money off you to keep you not knowing so that they give you a certificate and now they drag you along for 50, 60, 70 years. You only live to be 60 because you ate that food and they feeding you, chopping you up the same way the slave masters chopping you up. There's a new age order. I'm here for another 72 years or more. I got 72 years for a degree for the son to princess 1 degree. Now all these phony teachers, they can just go. Just bow out, fall back, because we're pulling your card. Tell your teacher, Ptah Sikasar said, what time is it? Ask your teacher what time is it. Ask your teacher, just ask them a simple question. First thing you know when you're a child is your 1, 2, 3, your ABCs and your colors. Okay? And you learn how to write your name and call the police if somebody touches you in the wrong area. Right? Okay, so now you're supposed to know how to tell time. Ask your teacher who got all these degrees, what time is it? And if he tells you some good, today is what is the day of the Gregorian calendar? Okay, today's Thursday, Thursday, September the 10th. If he or she even comes out of their mouth like that, you need to pull the card. I don't care who it is. I don't want to say no names right now, but they've been dodging me for the last 12 years, the last 15 years. I was on the calendar project. Somebody put me on the calendar project. You know who had the calendar project. I'm not going to say no name because I'm not going to incite no black on black crimes. I'm here for harmony and peace. But they keep thinking I'm going somewhere. I'm not going nowhere. They're going somewhere. They're going to be put in a box. We want to go from kickboxing to pine boxing? It's up to you. If you spent all your day as a basketball star and you make millions of dollars, and then 20 years later you meet your demise, you transition. What did you offer this planet? What did you offer your people? What is it that you're going to? You're going to Jesus? Can somebody answer your questions for you? We answer these questions for you here on the Queen Mother Goddess TFNut, Queen Mother Goddess AstMaatTfNut show. We answer, who am I? Where do I come from? Why am I here? And where am I going? There is an order, and it applies to all things. This order is called the order of existence. It was issued by the creator of all things, Ra Nebuchadnezzar Ra, to ensure the continuous perpetual evolutions of all things. So when I speak to you today of the New Age Order, the Great Golden Age of Maat Asar, and the New Age Order Star Gospel, the self-creation of Ra Nebuchadnezzar Ra, it is of this order that I speak. So I just want everyone to know that we're going to break a series down. We're going to do this very, very cordially and make sure that everybody knows how to tell time. But after that, we're going cosmic. I'm going to lay the cards down because I'm going to make sure that I lead all these phony teachers right to I'm at the Museum of the National Center of Afro-American Artists, 300 Walnut Ave in Roxbury. I have the Royal Burial Chamber of Sba-t of Sparta. Took me 5 years to build that burial tomb. It's the only reconstructed ancient Egyptian royal burial chamber in America. It is if you want to see a royal Egyptian burial chamber, you got to go to Kemet. They got a little poshy one in San Diego from the Rosicrucian. But we have a complete reconstructed royal burial chamber of Sba-t of Sparta at the Museum of the MNCAAA, the Museum of the National Center for MNCAAA, Museum of the National Center of Afro-American Artists at 300 Walnut Ave, Boston, Roxbury, Boston, Massachusetts, where we performed the Rent Pet this year with Brother Aferte from the AEO. I want to give my blessings to my brother Aferte from the AEO because of the coronavirus. They wouldn't open the doors. And so, boom, he hooked up the stage, him and his queen mother goddess, and he put the chairs out there with social distancing so they couldn't come bum rush us with the government. And he had the archery, he had the Nubian archery out there, and the queen mother got AstMaatTfNut. She came, and Shema Ra'et came, and Cyrus B came, and Ramutef Kweb came to perform. He performed his Hesi, and he gave forth
And
his Macharu,
Brother
and
Crumb was there.
Brother Crumb TV came to celebrate the Crumb TV edition 2020-2021 is the Crumb TV edition. And guess who showed up there from my brother Crumb TV? She showed up, and we celebrated the aspects and connected to the frequency, and we
And
had the
this
fruits.
calendar is the Crumb TV edition calendar.
This is the Crumb TV edition right here at the bottom, everybody. The Crumb TV edition. My phone's getting ready to jump. Keep going, Queen Mother. I'm getting ready to plug this in because I'm getting ready. My
Okay.
phone. Let me just plug this in real quick before. Okay, there we go.
All right. You'll see this is at the bottom, the Crumb TV edition of the Ancient Khemetic Rasaurian Calendar, the 2020.
Exactly. Okay, and at the Royal Burial Mesopotamia Spa-t, there's some of the pictures there with me and the Queen Mother on stage.
And the stage that they built
that Aferte of the AEO, the Ancient Egyptian Order, and his Queen Mother Goddess, they paid for the material. They just threw some stick. They had the brother from the archery, the general of the archery was there. There's Ramutef Kweb and me, Ptah Asar, in front of before the statue of Big Head. So when you come to Boston, you got to come see Big Head. And when you see Big Head, it's right next door to the Museum of the National Center of Afro American Artists. There's my brother Kwame Kimbrough.
Kwame was there.
Kwame was there. We had a beautiful time over here. And there's Crumb TV right there. My brother Crumb. Crumb wasn't playing no games. Crumb jumped on a plane. You know, Crumb's gonna be where there's news, African news at, and where something is going to benefit our people and our liberation. Brother Crumb's gonna be there.
Brother Crumb actually arrived via 14-hour car ride.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes.
He traveled on plane.
Yeah, y'all took a 14-hour. So y'all talking about road trip. We're talking about people that get in the car and say road trip. Road trip.
Ramutef came about 8-hour drive.
Yep, he came from Pittsburgh or Philadelphia. Yes, he did. Shema came in. Queen Shema, Ra'et. Cyrus B came in, and we had a performance by Jasmine. She performed. Radiant Jasmine, yes, from Boston, yes, Radiant Jasmine. She performed her music, and that was the Ubin something Cyrus Rising. We just reminiscing now, because I'm trying to chill out there. I'm trying to cool out before y'all talking about y'all ain't send me no money. I got people donating hundreds of thousands of dollars. Y'all can't send $1. But it's okay, my Sebas. I understand. It's okay. We just want you to know that we're getting ready to bring that fire. We're getting ready to bring that fire every time. We're going to bring you the cultural, cosmic, collective, conscious spirituality at the top of the apex. And then from the top of the apex, you go down to the bottom side, we get you your sacred science. And then on the right side, we get you the divine mathematics. And then we triangulate, always triangulate. Because if somebody's feeding you some information, that's a mathematician. So I got to deal with Gij, comma J equals 0. Dr. Gabriel Yevil's mathematical equation, which is atomic energy. And it's a divine mathematical equation. It implies that he took the periodical tables of elements and he broke down the tables of elements into a proton, neutron, and electron that's surrounded by a nucleus. And when he went from hydrogen to lithium, he just added another proton, neutron, another electron. And I thought that was the most ingenious thing he could. It's just the wonders of the melanated mind. But to say that he has a GUT, a grand unification theorem, they were supposed to give him a Nobel. He was nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize in physics, and they didn't. They denied it to him. They call it a geodynamic description of the universe. because it doesn't explain gravity. In my book, The Cosmic Egg, aka The Primeval Germ, a journey of 59 plus 21 zeros, we have the RSGUT, the Rasaurian Star Grand Unification Theorem, which is E plus P equals L, or E energy in Medunether is Ner equals P power in Medunether, which is Usa, equals L in Medunether, which is life, and which in Medunether is life. And also, it means being, the beginning of being. And this is the Rasaurian Star Grand Unification Theorem. So I'm on the Shock Metaphysics Virtual Comedic School. Somebody defamed my name. I got character assassination. I'm a drug dealer. I use drugs. I lie to people. And so he said, Ptah, people are talking about you. I said, well, shoot, well, can I have a trial? He said, no, you can't have no trial. You got to get off. So they kicked me off the Shock Metaphysics Virtual Comedic School. And all the comedic community turned against me. All because of a mathematical equation of 9, of the number 9. So this is how important it is for you to understand, those of you who are Shemsurus, Nesubitis, my Hemets, my Sba-t, my Munatats, my immortal ones of Maat. They didn't stop me one bit because they just made me stronger. Now we have a big organization now called the Nagatian Institute of Cosmic Awareness, Spiritual Consciousness, and Universal Enlightenment. We have the Nagatian Association. We have the president of Ghana wants to meet me to present to him the Ancient Rasaurian Khemetic Rasaurian Calendar, because the people of Ghana, the president of Ghana, wants to introduce this to his people as the national calendar of Ghana. I want to give my powers and righteous honors to my brother in Ghana. His name is the Black Messiah man, and Sam Chichi, Dua Siba, Sam Chichi, and Black Messiah. They have the Going Back Home tour, and they have the Coming Back to the Land of No Return, to the Gates of the Slave Trade. They have the Coming Back this month in September in Ghana. I'm trying to get there, but because of this coronavirus, and they won't let nobody fly there. If they fly there, they got a chip in your hand. You got to take the vaccine. When the Netters tell me it's time to go, we're going to go. We're going to make a trip back to Ghana. We're going to make a trip over to Kemet. We're going to go down to the Sudan and see our brother Amru Meriamen in the Sudan and Khartoum. We're going to go over to the necropolis, the Sudanese necropolis in Kerma, Medaway, Napata, and we're going to be there for the Helical rising. Hopefully, this time by next year, next time the sun makes its circuit to the Helical rising, which is 312 days from now, because today is the 48th day of the year, so that's 312 days remaining. We will be there with our brother in the Sudan. We're going straight out, land in Cairo, see the pyramids for a couple of days, and then we're boogieing down to Khartoum, where the brothers are at. But they're still implementing slavery. They just lifted the gold embargo, and so on and so forth. But the calendar is coming alive, and just in time for the environment. That's awesome. Ghana is trying to liberate their people. Dua. So, and to the Queen Mother Goddess in Canada, I say dua to you, Queen Mother Goddess. Was. Go ahead, Queen Mother. You got it. My throat's gone.
Dua, let's see what Ptah think herself. Sba-t, he's been commenting and adding value to the broadcast, to this guild, and he is also a student. And he has made a donation. He needed the link. I sent him the link. So as I said earlier, for example, hold on here. For example, if the methods that are posted do not accommodate you to receive your calendar, just let me know. I'll work with you. We're gonna make it happen. And so Todd is an example. Something was going on. It wasn't happening, and he contacted me, and we made it happen. It's not impossible. Nothing is impossible.
And Todd, okay, you got me here.
Excuses. Y'all can keep the excuses. Y'all can keep y'all.
Did you move me? Did you unmute me?
I don't care. I don't need anything. So do our rule to see what Todd. I appreciate you. And back to you, Seba, for Todd. Take us.
Yes. So Sba-t is one of my new students. He's in Oregon, and there's fire all around him right now. He's tuning in to get the spirituality, and there's a fire coming down the street. There's already came up Birthdown, California. It's coming into Oregon right now. So all appreciations, just hungry. Yes, my Sba-t. Now Todd asked the question about the black hole and the event horizon. So what is a black hole? The black hole is atomic energy because it's a part of the expanding universe. And the black hole is called in science, or with through LeBlanc and NASA, it's called cold dark body radiation. And these black holes produce the outerverse, which is the expanding universe. When we break down the graph, we're gonna go to because Todd missed the class last Monday, because he was running from fire. The circus went down. The fire communications went down. So yeah, Chavo, you made a donation just now. You deserve dua panata papa. So the components of a black hole in science is the outer regions of this black hole are called the ergosphere. Google it. Components, dynamics of a black hole. You'll see the ergosphere. Inside the ergosphere, if you have a spaceship, you can still navigate yourself around the black hole without being pulled in. And as you go deeper into this opening, it's called the outer event horizon. And at the point of the outer event horizon, you have a gravitational pull that's still not pulling you in, but you're gonna have to, Scotty, more, give me some more thrust here, okay? But now they have what you call the inner. After the outer event, when you get dug deeper in, you have the inner event horizon. Once you hit the inner event, it's all over. You get pulled in. Your vehicle becomes disassembled and decimated, and its atomic value is absorbed. You turn into the spaghetti, and you get sucked down into the center. Now, they have many hypotheses, and none of them make sense. But what they say is when you get sucked into a black hole, you go into the singularity, and the singularity then becomes the commonology. But where are you going? So this is why you have to have your sacred science, your divine math, and your cultural cosmic collective conscious spirituality. Your cultural cosmic collective conscious spirituality, and this means that we understand that motion is a requirement, a necessity in the separating of the collective energy contained within a motionless cold void, such as nu, the primeval germ, dark energy, or the cosmological constant. All we're talking about is the all of alls, where everything is, was, shall be, is contained, and our ancestors called it in our cultural spirituality nu, N-U. Nu is the primeval ocean of nothingness. That's our cultural spirituality. But of course, we have to explain it as through dark energy and oblivion and the cosmological constant. The cosmological constant is terminology they use at NASA. So we want to make sure that we're covering all these fields, because this is what we do in the temple. So nu is the primordial ocean. And this ocean is called the primordial ocean of nothingness. And now to relate this mathematically at the same time, because remember, every second, every minute, we are triangulating divine math, sacred science, our culture, collective spirituality, our astrology, astronomy, and we have the Medu Netta to keep us encompassed. And we see that the all of alls, where everything is, was, and shall be is contained, is called the primary ocean of nothingness. If I was to equate this to you mathematically or numerically, I would have to use the zero. Because if you want to explain nothingness, you got to write it down mathematically as zero. So when the Greeks see the zero, they see nothing. But when we see the zero, we see everything, because everything that is, was, and shall be is contained within it. That's why it's called the all of alls. And this is where you have to begin to understand and comprehend to relate to our cultural, cosmic, collective conscious spirituality through our story, first frequency specifically. And now we know that motion is a requirement in the separating of the collective energy contained within the motionless cold void. And so within this cold void of nothingness is the void. So in considering the concept of magnetism, which produces the phenomenon of attraction and repulsion, 5 anomalies must be understood. They are the 2 voids, heat, movement, and being. Without any other single phenomenon, the others would not exist. They are interdependent upon one another, and their presence allows purpose, function, order, and law. One void is a result of being, and the other void is a product of being. That is to say that the void of deep dark cold space is a requirement, a necessity of being, while the void of oblivion due to primary ocean of nothing, dark energy, or the cosmological constant, is the origin of being. The laws of magnetic attraction and repulsion begins with the inner over and understanding of these 5 anomalies. Something is always the result of something else, or something change is always a combination or interaction of these 5 phenomena. Inside a black hole where matter can be destroyed, a door opens unto oblivion. A door opens unto oblivion. Its atomic energy is absorbed, dissembled, and decimated. Its atomic value is absorbed. This place, oblivion, is the capacitor of capacitance. Capacitance is the ability to collect and store energy. This energy that is collected can also be released or discharged. From this energy that is collected or discharged comes the laws of attraction and repulsion. Harmonic strings and strands represent the quantum result of the total decimation of the atom, leaving behind invisible electron lines of the magnetic flux. Opposition or repulsion allows the expulsion of this energy in accordance to the laws of universal capacitance, which are mirrored in the ideas that even black holes can be consumed through the process of overconsumption. Why would this not also apply to oblivion? When energy was collected to its capacitance, energy must be released. So I go on and on and on, but Todd, but you know, that's the scientific part. It's in the book, The Cosmic Egg, aka The Primeval Germ, Journey of 59 plus 21 zeros. Make sure when you order your calendar, we send you a free copy, PDF file of our book, The Cosmic Egg, aka The Primeval Germ, Journey of 59 plus 21 zeros. And you get a CD recording of the translation and breakdown of the dynamics and properties of the Ipeteru, Sba-t Maat. That comes with the CD. And you also get your membership into the Nagaship. Understanding is imperative. Cosmology, consciousness, first we must release ourselves. Kwame, yes. So your path to immortality is first frequency specifically to acquire this ability to experience the phenomenon of being. So in order for you to experience this phenomenon of being, first you must release yourself. Then you must seek out yourself. Overcome the sensation of weightlessness. Embrace Maat within yourself. Then you will desire to acquire the ability to experience the phenomenon of being. This is the concept of self-creation. It's predicated upon the doctrines of Maat. This is the oldest known cultural conversation to our understanding, from the Hutu, the Twa, the Bantu, to the Tamarians, and then we moved, and then we circumnavigated the whole planet, and we built pyramids all over the world. And this information is still the mute testimony in each and every one of these temples and shrines. And so, Queen Mother Goddess, I think we went over. How are you doing? Do you have a ride home, Queen Mother Goddess? Are you going to be able to get out that building and all that dock over there? Am I holding you up from getting home?
No, Steva. Hold on, let me
You got a ride to get you home? You got somebody there with you?
I am here at my office. Let me try. I'm here at my office. I am well. And there's security here at the building, so I'm fine leaving out. I also have an escort with me, so I'm not alone. I'm never alone. Never alone.
Okay, I just want to make sure you're safe. That's all. I just want to make sure you're safe.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
fantastic.
Right,
So I like to.
right now, Walter sent a payment to PayPal. I need Walter to send me the email address to receive the free PDF of the Cosmic Egg.
No problem. He sent you a donation. So he sends a donation. So I'll send him the call. I'll send him a PDF file. Absolutely.
Okay, so you have his information?
I don't have his email address. Make sure when he gives you the donation, you get his email address, As a matter of fact, I'll send you the files. You send the files to him.
I have the file.
Well, when he says, okay.
So, okay. So I have the file, the PDF of the cosmic egg, as the global distributor of the Ancient Khemetic Rasaurian Calendar. I always send out the email of the PDF first. You get that as soon as I see that you made a purchase for the calendar. So Walter recently made a PayPal transaction. Woo. And I need Walter to send me an email address to receive the free PDF of the Cosmic Egg. Walter can contact me through Facebook or my Gmail, which is here on the screen, AstMaatTfNut@gmail.com. Seba.
Yes, Queen Mother God, I'm unmuted. Okay. So, in this way, once we know, we like to make sure that everybody understands that our cultural cosmic collective conscious spirituality is derived and is predicated upon the concept of self-creation. Now, there are some netters who they know are self-created. Budge knew, Bremstead knew, Petrie knew, Reisner knew. They all knew. Everybody studying E.A. Wallace Buzz, the Book of the Dead, or the Perth Heru. Everybody studying Chapalio. Chapalio knew. They all knew that Kepra was self-created. They knew Ptah was self-created. They knew Temu was self-created, and they know Amen was self-created. Now, a lot of people now when they get the smoke and the hustling, the pimp game on, and the hotep hustling, then you hear now you start seeing the scholars come up, and then they want to put the corruption. They want to put the fabrication of pain and punishment, and so now they want to bring up Atum. So now they're going to tell me that Atum is the creator of all things. So I know they're not playing, your Kemetic teachers are not playing with a full deck. Because we all know in the temple that Atum is atomic energy. Atum Ra keeps the sun disk on his head. Inside the halls of judgment with the Enin or the Partner-Therus, the 9 gods on top, Atum usually leads the Partner-Therus. So anything that leads the Partner-Therus is atomic energy, is solids, liquids, and gases, is matter. So we're dealing with the outer verse. So Atum cannot be the creator of all things. So they get Atum synonymously mixed up with Temu. So in the Shabaka stone, they say Atum this, Atum that. Atum's not even on the Shabaka stone. He's lying to you. She's lying to you. They're fibbing to you. Or maybe they just don't know. Maybe they're suffering from PTSS. Maybe your teacher has a bad case of post-traumatic slave syndrome. I don't know. But I'm telling you right now that Atum is not on the Shabaka stone. Atum couldn't get, how can Atum be in the Shabaka stone? The Shabaka stone is a primordial doctrine. It's a doctrine of subatomic space. It's a doctrine of the Zeptepi, of the origins of existence and the creation and development of the universe. And the Kepra and this is Heru, but Kepler usually has the sun disk on his head. Kepler is the fourth attribute of manifestation of Radha Teshara, and Kepler is the fourth primordial field force of the weak force. And Kepler has the sun disk on his head because Kepler represents atomic energy or the expanding universe. So now in the Shabaka stone, of course, Ptah's name is on top of the Shabaka stone. So they're going to try to say that Ptah is the creator of all things. That's how confused they are, because nobody, if you don't know how to tell time, you cannot relate to this in a cognitive consciousness manner. How can you even speak on something that you cannot relate to if you're still on Gregorian time? Like they're going to, and so let everybody know, Atum is not on the Shabaka stone. Anybody tells you that Atum is not on the Shabaka stone is a hustler and a pimp. Okay, I'm not going to mention no names. I'm just want to make sure that the information is out there correct, so that the new age master students who are out here trying to get the real information and don't want to go for the hotep pimp game, then learn your medunetha, because Temu means to think. Temu means thought. Temu means to plan. Temu is equated to mentalism, and then it is mirrored in science as electromagnetism, which is the first primordial field force. But now we go to Atum. Atum when the sun rises in the morning, this is atomic energy now. Atomic energy can't even have a conversation when we just left. We're talking about Ra. When we talk about Zeptepi, Ra's name doesn't come up. What's Ra got to do with the Zeptepi? Ra is atomic energy. If it comes up anywhere, it'll come up at the end as the weak force and as the expanding universe and under Kepra with the sun disk, then you have the conversation of Ra. But when you begin to talk about the beginnings of the origins of existence and creation and development of the universe, Ra's not involved. Ra is atomic energy. Ra is a hydrogen atom. Ra is the light. So when we start to talk about Atum, we know that the sun in the morning is Ra Atum. So when the sun rises, we call the sun Atum Ra, or we call the sun Ra Atum. And that means greetings, like grand rising. The sun in Medunetta rising is called Ra Atum. When you say grand rising, you're speaking to Ra Atum. And when the sun sets in the evening, the sun is called Atum Ra. Because in Medunetta, Atum means the completed one. Atum means he or she who is complete. And when the sun completes its daily cycle from east to west, from Abet to Amenti, then Ra becomes Atum Ra. So in the morning, when I pick up the phone in the morning, or when I pick up the phone to say hi to somebody, I would say Ra Atum. And when I say bye to somebody, I say Atum Ra. Yeah, Atum Ra Hotel. Okay, yeah, cool. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow. Atum Ra Hotel. So it's a communication. It's a generic communication. Everybody knows in the temple that Atum is the sun setting. So how are you going to put this Atum on the Shabaka stone? How are you going to smoke me like to think that I would even fall for something like that? And I'm from the temple. You can't convince, because Atum is synonymous with atom, or the atom. The atom and atom is a relationship that scholars use to finesse you and to what's what Malcolm said, you've been hoodwinked, you've been wallygassed, whatever it is. That's the hoodwink. They're all hustlers. A sucker's born every minute they think of the Kemetic community. They look at you as suckers. To even feed you that information, to even attempt to tell you that today is Thursday out of their mouth. Welcome to Thursday's program. For somebody Kemetic to say that out their mouth is a hustler and a pimp who ends up being a minister because he can't make no more money with what he's doing after he sells his certificates for yoga and Reiki and everything else. And they did all that pimping. Now when they can't go no further, they become ministers. They leave y'all alone because they see more money in the ministry of being a deacon or a minister in the Catholic Church or the Christianity. They know where the money's at. They're pimps and hustlers. Don't bring that to Ptah Sikasar. If your teacher has something to say, I'm on Facebook. I'm in Boston, Mass. I'm at the Museum of the National Center of Afro-American Artists. Road trip. Bring you and your Sba from New York, from wherever he's at, to Boston. And we'll go before the halls of double right and double truth, for the soul is purged of all sins. We see the faces of all the Netadu and pronounce the Usamedu Nefe Heka U. Anuka Bet Kweb. Anuka Bet Kweb. I am pure. I am pure. Anuk Perto Tep. Anuk Perto Tep. I come in peace. I come in peace. And let us bring you before Maat into the halls of double right. Let me lay your heart upon the scale. And let's see how far. Let's see if our meat has a meal today. You wouldn't make it out of there with that phoniness. You couldn't even say your Hesse coming through the door. What kind of Hesse you gonna say? I pour out libations for the ancestors to enter. That don't work in the temple where I come from. My students would mop you up. You coming in, you don't know how to perform your Hesse, your Saku, your affirmation. You don't know how to command the cosmic forces. You don't know how to speak to the ancestors, to the ancient ones, to the partner to by performing your true Hesse and identifying where we are in time and space, where the star is, what day it is, what netta governs this day, what netta of the month governs this month, what netta of the season, what day of the season, what season are we in. It's a mathematical equation because it's a vibration. It's a frequency. Everybody can't do this. Only a Shemsuru. They got these guys calling themselves Shemsuru. Don't even ask them. You see somebody call themselves a Shemsuru, ask them what time it is. They're gonna tell you, it's about 10 o'clock. Today is September the 10th. First of all, September the 10th is a Gregorian chronological timer, and if you're on this time, you're on the GMT, Greenwich Mean Time. which is, or UTC, Universal Time Coordinate. The United States government doesn't even use this time. This time, GMT, Greenwich Mean Time, and Universal Time Coordinated is used to control black people's minds. Everybody knows that. The Gregorian calendar is designed to keep black people sleeping. That's why China has now, Korea has said they will not, for no longer, will associate themselves with the Gregorian calendar. They say, hey, we ain't the niggas. Are we trying to control us? That short little fat dude, he ain't going for that. Everybody knows it's a control system. It's all control mechanism. The only way you can break the control is the frequency of the cosmos and what you eat. You have to get up in the morning and have your first day. We've had descendants for the last 5,000 years, billions of them, trillions of them, who never had their first day. You have an opportunity to have your first day, to begin to acquire the ability to experience the phenomenon of being, to receive your divine birthright. Everybody should know that the divine birthright is immortality. If you didn't wake up for immortality, then you've been Hellenized and lobotomized. If you didn't go to sleep for immortality, you've been Hellenized and lobotomized, because immortality is your birthright. So what did they do? They gave you a Gregorian calendar with a lunar cycle calendar, and because and every 130 years, the sun, there's one unearned day added to the calendar. But if the Gregorian calendar on January 1st, 2020, hypothetically speaking, is on a Monday, 2021 is on a Tuesday, 2022 is on a Wednesday, 2023 is on a Thursday, and 2024 is on a Saturday because they got a leap year. This means that after 7 years, the star that was in the sky at your birth is not in the sky on your birthday. They stole your birthday. You think it's your birthday. It's not even your birthday. That's how far gone you are. That's why here at the Maat with the Ancient Rasaurian Calendar Rasaurian Calendar, we have AstMaatTfNut, my lead astrological student, my lead Sba, AstMaatTfNut, and he does a virtual reality animated star chart, which will show you what sign you really are. Like I said, you thought you was Leo, you thought you was Virgo, and right now we're just entering into Leo. On July 28th is my birthday with the Ren Pet. I thought I was Leo. I'm really Kepler. I'm looking for Leo in the sky. Leo's not even there. Kepler's there. So what am I going to call myself a Leo if Leo's not in the sky? Because as above, so below. Because the white man or the system or the Hellenistic paradigm doctrines of ancient humanity told me that this is Leo. I got to believe it's Leo. That's scholarship. That's academia. You understand to call yourself a scholar is an insult to your ancestor. These teachers consider themselves scholars. They're proud to be a scholar. It's madness. That's how retarded your teacher is. That he actually thinks that that's a brownie point with the ancestors, you being a scholar, knowing that Plato opened up the first school of scholars. To be a scholar means that you graduated from the 10th school of Plato, which is a Greek. Do you understand the mentality we have here? So your teachers don't know how to tell time. They don't know the concept of self-creation, so they have no spirituality. Who do they believe in? Amen-Ra. Even you know now that Amen-Ra is a star date, and you can tell them, hey, listen, the Avenue of Sphinx and Luxor is orientated to the spring equinox, the great golden age of Aries, which is Amen. When the sun came into that constellation, Amen became Amen-Ra. That's why they worshipped Amen-Ra, and then the Kush kings, they had the two cobras, or the two ram heads on the head was the Kush kings. That was the waning age of the great golden age of Amen. And so you have to be able to applicate these things as above, so below, to have true cosmic generic validation through the Netarus. You can't have validation because News Weekly came up and said this is what's in. That's and then when you got your information, and your information is redacted. Redacted is when you get the line, you get that line, that black line, like the Mueller report. When they asked you, when they showed you our story, it was all blacked out. Then they showed you a next page, and the next page had some writing on it. This is And this is this is your story, but in reality, it was history or his story. So what they did was they took our story and they corrupted it. They plagiarized it. They corrupted it and fragmented it. Then they plagiarized it. Then they regurgitated it back to you in an unholy manner and called it history or his story. So your story is nowhere around history. History don't mention you. History always got their foot on your neck. You're always a slave. You're always being subjugated. You're always this. You're always lower than what you always were, what you originally were. So you know you're talking about history because you're never on the page. You're never even talking about. Look at all the movies today. These black people can't got black brothers that know how to make movies, but they can't make movies because they all become stereotypes. All these Christian movies, Catholic movies, brothers love romance movies, but the girl's a Christian and the brother is just got out of jail, and so he's gonna become a Christian. It's all that Hellenistic paradigm madness, stereotypical madness. Why don't they talk about why can't we write screenplays of our greatness? Because they don't know the story, because our story is cosmic. Our story is the stock gospel. Our story is the cosmic thought. Our story is the self-creation of Ra Nebuchadnezzar. This is the new age or the stock gospel. We don't have to, I'm letting you know that they're going to start a new world order. But it's too late because the new age order has already taken shape. The Lion's Gate has opened. The portals have opened. They need to know about our story. Yes, Duau Siba. So it's almost 11 o'clock. It's almost a 3-hour show. We had to do another hour because no one put $1 in. They didn't meet the dollar challenge. Queen Mother Goddess, I was an honor to be a participant in today's episode of The Precious Treasure, a continuous series about immortality, and I am honored to have accompanied you today on this journey, on this voyage. I am always delighted to be in your great presence, my most divine, my most revered, honorable Queen Mother Goddess, AstMaatTfNut, and this old Seba needs to get some rest.
You are the Ptah secrets more.
So,
I received your email address, so I'm in the process of sending you your PDF now.
divine, excellent.
Um, and the viewer, Kadeem Day from Facebook, he has ordered his calendar as well, and I just hit send on his free PDF, Cosmic Egg. So I'm putting these out, put them in the mailbox tonight once I leave here. Well, except for those that need to
Yeah,
go in the mailbox.
I have a couple. I have a few to mail out tomorrow morning
when I leave.
myself. Yes, I do too. So I would like to say in closing this pot, y'all got 3 hours out of us tonight. Y'all made up. Y'all that's how we teach the Ramesh. We got nothing but divine love. We keep going on and on, but I have the Queen Mother. She's out late at night. I got to make sure she gets home safely. I'm already safe. But I like to say in the words of our great divine paternal father. So if you believe in monotheism, your paternal father is Abraham. You know that. If you're a Muslim, if you're a Christian, or if you're into Catholicism or Judaism, your paternal father is Abraham. Abraham has 16 wives, 64 children. He was a nomad. They pissed in the river and they made love to sheep. This is your paternal father if you believe in monotheism, if you have any type of religious connections. Now we have our story. Our story is cultural, cosmic, cultural spirituality. And in the doctrines of Maat, let me just say that in the words of our paternal father, Asar Unefa Kentiamenti, that's right, Asar Unefa Kentiamenti, when he says that within the whole of the universe, nothing is ever added and nothing is ever lost. This has been a Nagaship Association and Nagati Institute of Cosmic Awareness, Spiritual Consciousness, Universal Enlightenment, an association with AstMaatTfNut, and our series of The Precious Treasure, Immortality. We will be coming back to you continuously every week, week upon week, until we keep opening up the eyes of our family, our Ramet, to their ancestors and to the first frequency specifically. We will make sure that by the time you finish watching these series, you will be the Seba. You will be the teacher. Your teacher will be taking lessons from you. Because in MeduNet, the Seba means student and teacher. Because the student becomes the teacher, because the son becomes stronger than the father, and the daughter becomes stronger than the mother, and because in the Zeptepi in the beginning, when Nu had the primeval ocean of energy, thought, feeling, and non-motion, his son, Ranavateshra, gathered with the ancient ones, with the Ogdods, and they performed the ritual, and he pronounced his name as a word of power, Usumedu, and we went from energy, thought, feeling, and non-motion to energy, thought, feeling, and motion. So, as above, so below. Dua, dua, dua.
Dua. We'll see what the translators are. I'm glad you are here. I'm glad you continue to come back to assist the platform with getting this message out. And Atum Ra Hotep to everyone.
Atura, Hotep.
Dua.